いや、いや、なかなか悪どいよ。
よいしょ、みんな、おはよう。おはよう。おはよう。
AK 売れる売れな
やばいっ
いじゃなくて。
すか？いいよ。
Everything matters, and it's honestly just like a coin
Hello?
flip at this point. It's hard to
Test,
tell
test,
who's going to win
test.
these games with how many upsets have happened.
I'm really glad you're bringing some good, honest analysis already. She's ran the numbers.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I'm here at the VCT watch party event. It's not really an event; it's more of a watch party. Well, maybe it is a bit of an event because I'm here. But yeah, happy to be checking out some Valorant today. I got a long day ahead of me, so I woke up the earliest I've had in like a few months, 9 a.m. uh, to hang on, I can hear myself, but hang on, test. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is the earliest I woke up in a while, 9 a.m. I had to come early to kind of like film a short little skit on stream. That was pretty fun for Riot, and now I'm doing the watch party. I'm gonna be watching Sentinels versus Evil Geniuses, which I'm pretty excited about. I specifically asked to watch this game. They asked like, so Riot always offers like these in-person watch parties, and you kind of like pick the ones you want to attend, and some of them are like super popular. But I specifically asked for the game today because Sentinel, I think they are the most clouted team in NA franchising, and Evil Geniuses, who is the least clouded team in NA franchising. But we're seeing this new change in the sense that like Evil Geniuses has such little clout. It kind of went to the negatives and went back to the positive, and they're now gaining clout for how little clout they have. It's like a Family Guy gag, where like they make a joke, but it's not funny, but they keep going with the joke for so long, it eventually became funny. Uh, so so now like people are paying attention to Evil Geniuses. Also, I will say Evil Geniuses have been looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I may be a hater of the org, but the players have been looking nice. I don't know if they're making playoffs, but we might have a chance here. And Sentinels have been looking. Sentinels like it's always funny how all these things flip around, but it happens so often. Like Sentinels and 100 Thieves and NRG were touted as like the top three teams, and EG and Cloud9 was the bottom two. And now the flip is like a little flipping, whereas Cloud9 is just the second best team in the league right now, and EG has been on the rise. And Sentinels, 100 Thieves, NRG have all been on the low. So, excited to see who pulls out here. I honestly don't know who I'm rooting for. Like, how does all of this affect DSG's legacy is the most important question. And I'm trying to think. Look, I told you guys my long-term plan. We hope that EG performs bad so that they have a org restructuring, not just Valorant. I'm talking about like the entire company. And Riot takes away their franchise spots and gives it to DSG. So that's what we're hoping for. Yeah, support Sentinels with Tarek. That is true. Look, I don't have any particular feelings towards Sentinels, but I do love Tarek, and I heckin' love Tens. And who else is on the team? Zekken seems really cool. I'm not too familiar with the Brazilians. I don't know Def and Marv. On EG's side, Calm seems like a super nice guy. He reached out after I tweeted my super sad message and saying like, hey, like, really appreciate the stuff you're doing. Keep your head high, King. So that was really nice of him. Demon 1, the one that got away from DSG. We're, of course, here to support him. Yeah, honestly, it's hard to say. But I still think EG as an org does like shady things. So I'm going to go with Sentinels on this one. But I want the players to be happy. I want an outcome where the players are happy, but the org is sad. I don't know what that outcome would look like. With Sentinels, I mean, look, if Sentinels is happy, that means Tarek gets paid more money. But if Sentinels is sad, Tarek gets paid less money, and he'll come play for DSG after his contract's up. Hard to say. Hard to say. Honestly, the way I see it, all outcome is beneficial for DSG. We stay winning outside of our games. So where'd you get that shirt? Japan. So if you're ever in Japan, it's in Shibuya. There's this store. It's like a chain store brand. And they do like really, what's the word I'm looking for? Not masculine style. Like more pretty Japanese boy. I might be going back to Japan. I thought I was going to the Philippines, but apparently something fell through or something. Originally, my plan was to do like a Philippines to Japan trip, but the stuff I was planning to do in Philippines, I don't think it's gonna pan out. So it looks like I'm just going to Japan.
God, they're so handsome. Look at that guy right there. That's Alex Moore. Oh my God.
This is the analysis we
Are you
brought
guys
you.
able to
Tony
hear?
coming in. Look at Tony, big man.
He is a big
Boosty,
man.
IGO. We got Max coming in and Coach Christine Puater.
All right. Well, thank you for that one. I really appreciate it. But
Are you guys able
Mel,
to
these
hear,
boys who you're looking at on your screen for BCJ are very handsome.
The broadcast?
They had a pretty good match last week. They got, I think, their first big upset, getting that 2-1 victory over Leviathan.
Yeah, they're coming into this week, honestly, with a pretty big win on their shoulders. They're coming in on a high, on like a huge high note. Leviathan has been hyped up pretty much this entire split, and rightfully so. I think that win is really going to give them the confidence against Sentinels that could make this a really close match.
Yeah, and BCJ, this seems like a big improvement over some of the previous matches for EG, where they would start strong, have these good ideas, then it would kind of fall apart in the later parts of these matches. But here, they really stayed resilient and were adapting till the end.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, you've seen how strong we've looked. Obviously, coming out like 9-3 is
All right. Damn. What am I rooting for today? You know what? I'm just rooting for a good game. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna make that official. I'm gonna root for a good game.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was thinking too that it's really interesting they took a win off of Leviathan, considering that the narrative being that EG is pretty crap heavy, and they do like a lot of game planning and stuff like that. Against Leviathan, there's a team that is pretty heavy in the protocols and stuff like that. And this week they're playing against a team that is a little less structured. I mean, they're bringing in Iceman. Like they have like a week or two
Any
of
guess?
practice. They're
Wow.
far less like structured.
Here's
than
here's
Leviathan,
something
so I wonder how
I'll
they're
let you guys
against
know.
It's a very different stylistic
I actually
matchup for this
don't
one, but one thing
normally
you
like,
about that game that was an improvement for EG was their anti-defense throughout
watching
that game
games
was much
with
stronger.
Thank
And
you.
I think even
Other
Potter herself
people,
said it in the week
not because
three or
like I
week
hate
four
other
interview,
people or
she said,
anything. Don't
"These
get it
damn
twisted.
anti-egos are just haunting us."
It's
And
more
the loud game, they lost
I'm
2
extremely
against Leviathan
socially
in a match that ended 13-10. They put a 2-0
awkward
had they
that
essentially not gone egoed or thrifty twice.
if there's anyone like I don't know that well
Egos versus Leviathan, only getting 51
watching these
is
games with
just
me, I
so
feel like
hard,
I
but
can't
it's still
really
improvement, and I'm looking to see
be
them improve in that regard.
or feel like myself. And pretty much the only exception, one of the only exception is one of the few exceptions I would say. Yeah. I like watching with a couple people. I would say Tarek is like one of the few exceptions I have when it comes to that role. Because a lot of the time, when we do our watch party with DSG and Tarek will always ask like, "Hey, can I bring this person? Can I bring that person? Can I bring this person?" And I always say no. Not because I don't like them, just because like I'm a very different person if I don't feel comfortable. It's like if I'm hanging out with a good friend of mine and then another friend comes along that I don't know that well, I kind of behave very differently. So yeah, probably end up going to Japan next month. We'll see. Because there's the whole VCT event, Tokyo Masters, and a small part of me wants to go to kind of understand what the future is like for Valorant, and really decide whether or not this whole thing is viable.
Trust in the things he tells us and the system that he has in place, knowing that he's been to that level, he knows what it takes. And for Ethan, I'm sure at EG they
Because
the same
we're like 6 months in,
He's
right?
made it top 4 before international, and seeing and having that mentorship.
Starting in November-ish. And I kind of said I would try and be in the scene for at least 3 years, and I still plan to be. But after 3 years, we need to reevaluate.
Yeah, so over here, by the television,
So I want to see one of these big events. Okay, I'm just using it as a reason to go to Japan.
before I play the clip, we're looking at the ult economy for both teams. A lot of ults in play. This is where it kind of gets complicated when there's a lot of ult interactions. So for Leviathan, we have the Viper ult, the Sky Seekers, and we have the Harbor Reckoning. And for EG, we have the Jet Knives. We also have the Seekers and the Reckoning as well. So this is a really interesting round where a lot of ults come into play. And usually it's going to get complicated. So sometimes it's easier not to just kind of go with the set plays that you and your team has dry ran and drilled before. And we're going to see EG walk into contact of Rick here. actually just going to use their ults to go into an A split through R. Actually, something really interesting here you want to notice is that Boostio has an operator because he was dropped it by Demon 1 so he could pop his knife. So just an interesting detail. The Sky Cabbages are going to pop so they can actually get him some easier way to get into aiming later. As you see, they're just contacting up mid, just looking for these early duels. You're going to see Leviathan actually, see if I can get a pin.
They stole the stick figures? No, I drew those stick figures for them. That's why I was in the studio early. I came in like 2 hours before the broadcast to do a bit with them and to like, I drew the stick figures for them yesterday.
If you want to accurately break the Seekers, you're going to have to shoot it and crouch, or not crouch, just standing still. So you kind of have to back off because you can't stand so because the Heartbolt's going to stun you, and you can't shoot the Seekers because the Heartbolt's going to stun you, so you just need to get out of the sight.
Those we can't hear the audio. What? That's because it's not turned on. You're hearing the broadcast through my headset microphone.
And the safe plant here for EG. So it puts them in a really nice spot for the post plant. Boostio as well. He's gonna.
The audio's not bad. There's no audio.
And keep in mind here too.
How many times do I have to teach you guys? Stop complaining about audio.
Calm is going to be really important in the late round. So this is really well thought out strat with the double ults, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play their post plant. You're going to see Leviathan pop a Viper ult in reaction to this, and it looks really chaotic from our POV, but that flash right there,
all right.
And this control
I'm
of
glad
secret
Mel
that
is here
EG
so I can
taking
poach her for
is
DSG.
absolutely critical to this post plant. You're going to see they left nobody in art. They know this is the post plant they want, and on this map, it's really, really strong post.
So right after this broadcast, I'm gonna approach her and say, "Hey, look,
And keep in mind as well,
I know you are part of the best GC team in North America right now,
so this is a great timing by Calm.
but
Let's see how it
if you
plays
come
out.
over to
Everything
DSG,
is in EG's favor here. They have every advantage. They have that strong
I'll
seeding
introduce
control,
you
so
to
good understanding
Pokimane.
map design. They have a great post plant, plant spot where it's planted open. They have that
And
leaf
that's
and
about
it's
all
really
I can
interesting
offer.
now seeing them actually take all the advantages that they're given by using these ults. You're gonna see it play out here. There's that lurk from Calm, perfectly played. The Seekers come out, but he still gets the kill. We're gonna see King gets a really nice 2K off of his own team Seekers. Jadoma gets his one. It comes down to the 2v2, and this is also great game planning by EG. The last two people alive are Boostio and Calm, which is two of the agents that have the mollies. So you're gonna see the Viper mollies get used. You're gonna see the Killjoy molly just went off. Boostio gets a pick with the operator. And then Mazina trying to half it, there's a Viper molly, or there's a Viper snake bite at his feet, and the round is cleaned up. And you can really see every little advantage.
Yeah, the DSG stuff is has been very challenging, a little stressful, but still a fun experience. Honestly, it beats being bored. I think I was bored for a long time. But yeah, no, it's definitely has not been easy when I just saw the stick figures.
You can see it right
When
there.
things are out of your control,
A big thing,
right?
Mainly post
Like,
plants, I think, is something that you notice if you
as a solo content creator, Hearthstone, TFT, and kind of Among Us,
generally how the game works.
there's so much things
You can really get the bomb down a bunch of
that's
times
like
for the
in your
start.
control,
You can
and then
really
suddenly
get,
with
those
this
raids,
new
those ults
venture,
moving,
like
really,
almost
I think
everything
for
is
us,
out of your
post plants has been
control.
the biggest thing to really grow on. And if you got cringe
In
post
terms
plants,
of result,
you
like
lose.
Love to have a little bit of cringe in there, but for more
the performance is out of your control, and the stuff like social media is in your control, which is good. And I think um, our social media guy is doing like an amazing job for an org that's been around for 4 months. I think our social media guy is like doing huge numbers. Like we're 0-7 for our last 7 games, right? Out of the 7 series we have, we've won 0 of them. And I think we're still one of the most watched teams, just in general. So I'm hopeful for the future, because when we do start winning, just imagine how much more viewers we'll have. And our social media guy is just like really on it and very handsome too. But it's stuff like that. Like I feel very confident in the content side, in the branding side. But essentially for the first time, I have this Hello. But for the first time, there's a lot of fans here. But the first time, a big part of this whole thing's success is something I don't have any active control over. But I am learning a lot over the last 4 months. I kind of understand more about
Good in that one
the
for
important
EG. Let's move
things
on
that
to
make a
other
team
they're
work.
facing off against Sentinels. And well, EG scored a major win last week.
But
Sentinels took a pretty big loss against Cloud9. They really got rolled over in that game.
it's definitely not been
Yeah,
easy.
unfortunately,
But
Maiko
I think
said
these are all
he
lessons
didn't
I had
want
to
to
learn
play.
at some
And that's
point,
for the best of us,
and
honestly. He's had to role
it's
swap
better to
Charlie,
learn
and
them
it's
now.
taking time for him to really
I'm a
find
little
his
worried
footing.
about the possibility of
But I'm more than
relegation
confident now, being back to his
because
old
at
role,
this
where we used to play double duelists.
at
I think
this
now
rate
it's gonna
we
be different.
might we're
Yeah, and
probably
for
not
sure,
making
in Brimstone,
playoffs.
it was a pretty rough game there, but it seemed like Wider was
And if
seeing
we're not
things
making
for
playoffs,
sure
that
against
means we have
Sentinels.
to play in
It makes me feel
relegation,
like
which
a lot of
means
this
there's
comes down
actually a
to
chance we're
Sentinels
not
also
even
having an incredible defense. Their defense has always
around
been
for the
great,
next
but
year.
honestly, seeing this look on Lotus with the Neon and
That
how
would be the
fast they're
worst.
able to keep up with Zeppa's information gain is
That would be the
incredible to
worst
watch. How
world,
dominant and also sometimes aggressive that they are. It kind of puts
like
Sentinels in
the
a really
worst
hard spot,
timeline.
and it's definitely really punishing if you're a team that has only really been struggling
If a
lately playing those
DSG
teams
isn't
with
even
Lotus and
around next year,
VCT.
and that is
And that's the
completely
frustrating
possible.
concept of
I mean, what I can
Lotus
do is
winning
do
against Sentinels. Because like you
what
said, they
Lud
were
and Charlie
winning
did, which is
games,
just
but
pick
they
up a
changed
team
something
that
super
made
last
it.
minute, and they lost
Like
to one of
even
the
now,
top
Turtle
sides in the
Troops
league
are
there.
still a free agent
Yeah, I
team.
mean, you look at Rory's leadership. I think he needs some more time with these guys. It seems like the disconnect on the attacking side will get fixed over time, but it's hard to say
So
from
there
game
is
to game.
not a demand for teams just
But I can
yet,
see them easily coming back. Game planning goes different
because
maps.
there's a pretty
Looking at Cloud9,
well-performing
they
team
really pushed
available, Turtle Troops. I think
Archangel
they
in
are
those rounds,
two
and
and
Lotus really did
one
counter it.
in the groups right now.
Directly tried to
They
push
didn't
it.
make playoffs last year, but they missed it barely. Um, but when you have a team that's doing okay, that's available, and orgs are still not picking them up,
And I think it
it's
makes
a
it more
bad
difficult to have
sign
communications as well. And I can only speak from outside the team, but even
because
just
it's
looking
like
at if
you're
like Zep
essentially
is constantly
signaling to all
pushing
these
for
other
it,
orgs. It's like, oh,
it also puts them in a
yeah, it's
position where
really
like,
not worth it.
okay, I kind of get this like game flow, I kind of get this game plan here, where we're here to like really win
So
as
we'll
well.
see.
And I feel
Like
like
if
that puts them
we
in a great spot as well.
go to relegation and we don't make relegation and we have to go through open qualifiers and we don't make open qualifiers, we either A, have to just skip out on 2024 or B,
Being in Texas roll is hard, man. It's difficult, but it's enjoyable. I like
pick
doing
up a
it
team
and
that did
actually executing
qualify.
really well. It's a bit different to what I did before. I have to be a lot more aggressive and take more fights for the team. Being in this role helped me learn that I need to be a better communicator. I need to ask for my teammates' support more. It's definitely helped me to expand that part of my game.
Those you're gonna get hated on if you do that. I don't think so. I don't see anyone hating on Lud and Charlie. That's a weird thing to hate someone for.
Yeah, definitely. And back then, you would like pick KO Sky as a duelist as well. So for him, he's always been the mature young player. I think that's something that's always stuck out to me.
There's no point
He
taking
was
other
very proud of
squads
himself
unless you
before. It's
intend
like
to win
they had to
Ascension.
work on that trait
Um,
specifically. Getting their voice, finding their voice is really what
so
it is. I think he
this
found
is
his voice
gonna
at some
sound
very
a
early
little
in the
like
slot
confusing,
previous year.
but
But taking over a main
I would
duelist spot,
say
primarily opping as well as
most
Jet,
people's goal
that's
is to
something completely
win,
different that he might not have been as used
sir.
to as maybe playing the rifle duelist role, which he was
I don't
more
think
comfortable with.
I don't. This might be a huge shocker, but yeah, I would go as far as to say everyone's goal is to win. So I don't worry about that one.
I think if you watch that first Sentinels game he subbed in, it is honestly
Like
it's
everyone's
a
trying to win the whole
classic. I speak
thing.
for myself. I was watching those VODs intently. I was watching those games live, and it's incredible what he can do and the impact that he can have on controller. Of all roles, controller, he is always showing up. But I think one thing is that his lurks have been big, and I think Cloud9 really keyed into that because they were not letting him get any value
Those people are gonna be upset if you did that because that means you will have to drop your current roster. Well, again, if you're not paying attention, I meant like if we face relegation and we don't make relegation and we don't make open qualifiers, guys. In that scenario, you have to like maybe you guys don't understand like that person doesn't understand how the system works. But if that happens, there's no team. There's no DSG in 2024. There's no current team to drop because there will be no teams. So like in that's the scenario I'm talking about. I'm not talking about right now. If you're confused, I'm not saying we drop DSG right now and pick up Turtle Troops. Of course, I wouldn't do that. That logic makes no sense. I already have a team. I'm talking about in the scenario that DSG faces relegation, doesn't make relegation, goes to open qualifiers, doesn't make open qualifiers.
Earlier when I brought up about EG taking that win versus Leviathan was incredibly impressive, but at the same time Leviathan is a protocol heavy team and EG came in with what it appears to be good game plan and good prep going into it. Meanwhile, Sentinels seems like a
But
team that's
like
almost the
chat,
opposite.
don't worry about it. We have our top men on the job. As much as I respect the opinion of one guy from Twitch chat because of all his knowledge and experience, I'm gonna put my faith in the people who's been doing this for a while.
Yeah, going the completely different route. Not trying to get fired here or anything, but we're living evil, baby. Look at that artistic drawing right there. We got the hashtag Live Evil. That's fun. I'm hoping to see a ton of that on Twitter today. But yeah, no, I'm believing in the guys. I think that they're really making that push for playoffs, and I think everyone's kind of hitting their peak form, especially on their new roles. So I'm excited to see them today.
What do you think is the biggest thing that EG need to focus on to win this one out?
Man, I talked about
Who's
both
gonna
sides of
win?
the
Let me
guys,
think.
but yeah,
Sentinels or
all those combined into being the
EG?
fundamentals. I think if EG works in the fundamentals, they have a solid chance to beat these guys. I think any player on EG can have the pop-off moment. I've said that in the past, but I truly believe it. You can see any pick any player in any round, in any moment, any role.
Who do I want to win and who do I think will win? I think Sentinels will win.
And this is the time.
Mel, it's the same case for Sentinels, though. I mean, that's everything we talk
I
about. with this
think
squad. The
I'm
pop-offs,
gonna
the
say
moments.
Sentinels win.
For Sentinels as well, some of their fundamentals
Honestly, I also
slid
would
away
want
or slipped away
Sentinels to
last
win,
week, so
and then
definitely
EG
have all
loses,
the
and
fundamentals for
EG
this one.
It's going to be
as
a
an
big
org
game for both of these squads. And really, I think it's also one that's
doesn't stay in franchise, like pull out of franchising. I
I
wish no ill will on all the low-level employees. Only the upper management of EG.
EG in particular, this is a squad that has so many doubters. They found their first big upset last week against Leviathan. They have that momentum behind them. But for Sentinels as well,
But I want happiness for the players.
this is a squad you can always rely on to make some improvements, to learn from their losses and come out stronger. It's big implications for both of these squads. It is a game that matters very much for both. And week 6 of VCT Americas is getting started just on the other side. Evil Geniuses and Sentinels ready to take the stage.
2-1 Sentinels.
This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Those, why do you hate EG? I don't hate them. I just disagree with their business practices, which I think is a reasonable thing. If you read about like testimonies from ex-EG employees and players, but that is not the fault of. I think one thing I learned about the esports space is that there's so little opportunities and there's so much genuine people who just want to be a part of esports that orgs will always be able to find employees that are willing to take like a lower like there's a surplus of talent, not just as players, but as like staff. Like if I ask chat right now, hey, anyone here want to try to be the DSG team manager? Anyone here want to try being the DSG like social media intern? Anyone here play Valorant who wants to try being like our assistant analyst, right? And hundreds of people would do it just because like people who love video games just really want to make it their life. Like it would be really cool if you worked in the video game industry, and that was my attitude when I was younger. Was like, yo, I just want to build games. I just want to work at Riot or Blizzard and do like video gaming stuff. And it's the same for esports. So if you're an org, you kind of can like this is the same with all organizations, not just esports, but you can be nice to them or you can be more like strict and get more results as well. And it's different for every org. Like Amazon's one of the biggest companies in the world. And I've heard some pretty horror stories about like working at their warehouses, right? Ooh, Demon 1. Marv. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just playing a game meant for 12-year-old kids. Yeah, and I'm able to make a living from it. And you are typing in my Twitch chat. I would say I got the better end of that deal. Potter is so tall. Like I say it every stream when I see her, but she is so tall.
Playoff hopes on the line and an important game in this one. So I'm sure VCJ, the huddles, the discussion ahead of this matchup are going to be very important.
Yeah, I mean, always getting the guys hyped and ready to go is, you know, what you're looking for here. But from both sides, I'm expecting big-time things from Kaplan and Potter here. I think you need to... Hey, look at that. Shout out to my mom right there.
Wait, BCJ's mom?
CC's been in town as well. Big shout out to the gang. But yeah,
yeah,
no,
I've been
really
noticed
big,
a lot of
really big moment for EG here.
a lot of parents have been attending these events.
Likewise for Sentinels. This is a chance for Mars.
I saw like Zekin's dad talking smack or something.
They are the best in their role.
To like
coming off of that loss
one
last
of
week especially, they
Zekin's
definitely
teammate
need
on
this.
Twitter.
They're
I'm not sure if that's a
confident going into it. I
troll.
don't think, the professionals are not going to let last week
VC
get them, but like you said earlier, it's really going to be big on the
BCJ's mom is in the crowd. I think was it Calm's mom that was here last week.
Against their opponent in front of them.
What do you think the prep is like against a team like Sentinels? Because as we've talked about, EG is normally very prep heavy. They play well against structured squads.
It's really cool. I mean, I'm sure that the parents like.
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
still
you
in
look
an
at Sentinels,
era.
You look at the calling style of Def.
We're
what
actually
he's done in the
entering
last
this
year, even.
like
You look at
era
the
of
slow defense
kids
rounds.
telling
You
their
look at
parents
the lurk
because
from
these players are
Marv.
super
You look
young,
at
right?
The slow
Like
pace. Let's
18
take
years
A main,
old.
Let's take B main. Let's work back to
17.
The multi-stage fakes. This is what they
And
love
a
to
lot
do.
of their parents still don't really understand.
This one, Mel, diving into it.
And I
Yes, you have
feel
Bind in
this
pool
the
now for
most
second week. Where do
with
you expect these teams to head?
Oh, actually,
one of my
EG
players,
banning
Joseph.
Gabe. I thought they were going to ban Bind, so I thought they were going to leave it open.
Because he
I honestly
just
expecting
finished
Pearls on map 1
college
here
and he kind of
from
had
one
to
of these teams
explain to
pick,
his
and then
parents
Sentinels,
like,
yep, they've been banning splits
oh,
since Marv has
wow,
come in.
I'm gonna
That is
take a
characteristic. So
year
I'm
off
expecting
looking
EG
for
to
like
pick up Pearl
a
here.
quote-unquote job
Honestly, I think
to
that
play
they're-
like professionally.
Going in with a Fracture, honestly
And
interesting target pick against
that's kind of
Sentinels who didn't look too hot on Fracture last week.
like a responsibility as an org owner,
That's a really
right?
pacey map. There's
So
the
as an
pro you're
org, it's like,
expecting,
well,
although it's Sentinels who decided
these
to take
parents
that.
are essentially
I mean, they looked
trusting
pretty good
you
on it last week with Marv.
to
I
look
think
out
that, Marv and that Viper
for their
role is
kid.
really, he's finding his footing.
Both those maps
But
seem pretty strong for EG.
it's
Their
also a very
Fracture's good with that
competitive
interesting
space.
Sova
So,
composition. Their Pearl's
like,
been
let's
solid
say,
as well. It seems pretty favorable now.
you know,
And then
hypothetically,
the
one of
ban
the
in
players
second
don't work
phase,
out,
EG on Bind, and then from Lotus,
and
you're gonna see interesting map here for Thursday. Gonna be
It's
a
a tough, it's definitely a tough decision.
Yeah,
I think that's what makes me not a good owner.
Who can win that map?
Is that
I think if it's like obviously if it's gonna be EG up, they're gonna get the 2-0 if they're willing to go 2-1 Pearl. But I think it's gonna be interesting because Sentinels
it's a hard
blew out
choice
Loud
to
on
make
map, and then
that
Loud blew out
decision,
EG
right?
13-0.
I'm the
So
kind
it's
of
gonna be
guy
crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see what game plan adjustments
that if I'm in a bad
You guys were all talking about the
relationship,
fundamentals
I
a
would
lot.
just
Heineken
wait for the
0.0
girl to
ascent
break
that
up
final
with
one.
me.
That's what it's all about. But let's focus our sights on the first map in this series, in Fracture. Like I mentioned, it's this interesting Sova composition for EG. SEN has been
That
switching
should give
to
you an
single
idea of what
duelist
kind of
with
guy I
Zeppin.
am.
Do you expect changes from either of these teams, VCJ?
I don't expect major changes, especially with the players that we are looking at here. I think this is a map that
So
is
which is
really,
why
protocol
I always
heavy.
tell
You
my
build these
coach,
set
hey,
plays.
you
That's
know,
what you want to be looking for. So they can't really
always
change much.
make your
I think
decision
Sentinels as well, I
independent
think
of
the first time they played
me.
with Marv, they actually hadn't played it at all.
Because if I had
in
it my
scrims.
way, I
The
would
one time
keep
they
everyone
won
and
it,
pay them a
but
salary
now
and then go
It's going
broke.
to be interesting to see now they have had 1-2 weeks of practice on the map, what they're going to go with.
Yeah, and I mean, if you take a look at Sentinels, actually, they
So
are
I'm like,
picking up the
hey,
Sky over the Fade. I mean, that was a big part of their
leave
last
me out of it.
comp was to play the post plan, play the anti-bomb with the
Like,
tether
I'll care
nade.
about them
Now having Sky in
and
the mix,
stuff,
it's going to
but
help you on attack, but you're going to miss that on defense.
What are Sentinels
we are
looking
trying to win
improve
here.
Because it was
This
their
is a
backside that
competitive
struggled
space.
so much last week, Mel.
I think the Sky actually brings
No
a
one
lot on
is
the
here for
attack. There's,
charity.
like, util, it kind of baits out the alarm bot and things
And
like
you-
that. And I
if
think
you
Sauce
are
is
a
incredible
player
on the flash flex as well. I
that
think
you
he
think
looks really
you
going
are,
cool with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he
I
were
don't
to
think
take
you
over
want
this game.
charity
Well,
either.
we will
So
see if those improvements are enough. It's map number 1 here for EG versus Sentinels. Let's send it over to your two casters, Van Sillington III on the call.
hey, Boaster's here.
Well, you know, it's not GB, it's still me, but we still have the fun
I was
names
grinding
coming
for 6
together.
years. If you really want it, you work shit jobs to do whatever it takes to the
The
top.
clock is ticking here, Riv, for both
Spoken
of
like
these
a
teams,
true
for EG
champion.
and also for Sentinels. And, you know,
I
there are
haven't
also
learned
two
the new
teams that
jeans
in here
dance
in the
yet,
right
but,
arena that have
I've
always
been
had
trying.
great games against their opponents, but unfortunately
Looking
always
forward to
fell
dancing it with
short,
you in
right?
Tokyo.
Into a map series, into close games, but at least now, two teams
Yeah.
that are very tactical. One
I
of
think,
them will be coming out the victor to get closer to the goal of reaching those playoffs.
Right, both 2 and 4 right
Like,
now.
if you are
not much
someone
time
who
left to secure
will
these
make it in the
games that are
scene, you can
absolutely
overcome a lot of
necessary.
challenges.
EG still yet to beat a North American team here.
Some
in
players
the
do, and
Valorant
some players
Americas.
don't, and
We'll
just
see what
like
they
say,
can do. I
hey,
mean, you
this
look at their
life isn't
stats,
for
Van
me, and
Silly,
I
the
think that's
last three
fine too.
games,
Oh,
the
game
Vietnam
started.
Loud Furia. They only lost those games, those two, Loud and Furia, by 3
right.
rounds at most. They do not look like
According
an
to the
eighth-place team
stats,
currently.
teams that
We'll see
win
if they can show
Pistol
that
have a
power here again
71%
today.
chance of winning the
Looking to
entire
do the
series.
same. Ever since the Marv changed, they've looked a little bit stronger, a little more solid now that they can focus these roles.
And
I also just made that up.
things off towards the B side here
But
on Fracture.
that was more of a
This
lesson
time
for you,
around, a
chat, that if you
change
say
from the
anything with
initiator.
confidence, people
No
will
sauce
listen
seen
to
here
you.
on the fade, going into the sky, less pressure into our arcades. But for EG, you still see these players. 4 players stacked up on the side before, and now looking to pressure towards that angle. It's a wrong read to start, but
They
all
have
Sentinels
the
are backing out here
Killjoy
towards the A
lurk.
site where there's only calm playing.
I like playing
Doing a good job
controllers,
watching the flank, though. EG
and I always
taking
find
the
myself,
side.
I always
Looks like
play,
they're
I
gonna
play
do a
like
full
controllers
retake
slash
on this.
Sentinels.
They have the utility for it.
And I think one battle I'm always having is like arguing. If I'm playing controller, I'm always arguing with the Sentinel players. Alright, who gets the lurk?
We'll see how the Sentinels pushes his post plant.
Because that's
If they layer
the
forward and try
two
to stay on the
roles
side,
that
or just
lurk,
take a
right?
main control.
Your
It's
initiators on
actually a
site.
safer plant. No, out in the
Ooh,
open.
love the
EG
spam
hears
through
where the
smoke.
plant's coming from and spam through smoke.
Your initiators on site, your duelist is on site, and between your controller and your sentinel, alright, no, I want to be lurking.
As now we have a 5 versus 2. One of them is going to go onto that defuse at least at halfway. The other 2 players, the Sentinels behind that smoke, nothing they could do. EG gets a clean retake.
EG just 5-0'd them on pistol.
Pistol round win percentage in Valorant Americas. Evil Genius is showing why right there.
I still
Playing
think
the map,
Sentinels win.
understanding that it was going to be pinched towards A,
Like
and
pistol
as
rounds,
soon
I'm
as
I'm
they
I'm
get
gonna
a
say
kill
it.
on
Pistol
that
rounds
side
are
play,
like
they go into this trap
flipping a
play
coin.
EG that we've been seeing much more of, able to work right in the protocol and get their opponents.
Anyone
when they're
can win a
feeling the
pistol
safest,
round.
while Sentinels was not safe.
I can
inside
win a
EG
pistol
grabbed
round
pistol.
against
And we will
EG
see a Bulldog,
or
just like Demon,
Sentinels.
like Calm wanted to,
Like out of 1,000
he
games.
does, he actually dips right
If
into
I
that
played
Bulldog, so
1,000
the
games
reassuring,
against
a
Sentinels,
little more
I
strength,
promise you I will
knowing
win at
Sentinels
least
will take their time here and try and pull all
one
the
round
intel
of
out and
pistols.
positioning to see if they can get this first blood onto EG for second round.
Taking their time is definitely going to be the name of the game for both of these players. You heard VCJ on the desk talking about how these 2 teams are protocol heavy, looking to find that information first before they could actually react, before they want to take a site. But it's EG looking to press first.
Pancata gonna catch
2
him on the
players
push
moving
out.
forward here towards
You're pushing
the
out
south
with
side of the map.
guns?
Radiant Lion easily dropped as EG pulls ahead. One player advantage.
So there he had his crosshair played for the like the far peak. So when a guy peeked close, he only had the crosshair on his body.
That's Ethan just repelling away and looking for the backup.
Getting plant gold here would be pretty big though.
You have to be worried about A main controls here. I think that's their biggest worry. This could be big coming in here from Jogamo and Ethan. If they can get that fault line correctly and the rest of them flood into sight just like pistol round.
Ooh.
That was so clean. From a recon bolting to bottom of the site, combined with an aftershock from A main, Sentinels had no exit out of the map.
Wow, just patient. It doesn't even look like EG's sweating there. Obviously, they know they have the gun diff, but the way they're executing, looking flawless right now.
All right, this is the round that you gotta pay attention to.
Geniuses. We'll see what Saucy decides to purchase. If she goes Phantom or Vandal, I think they're thinking out the strat right now. Splitting it 3 top side, 2 to that south side. This is a little bit of what they just ran for the side of Sentinels, so they'll keep it. Spikes down for now, so this looks again to be another round where they'll draw utility and possibly find out where Boostio is. Figure out where this Killjoy utility is and how to avoid that on some rounds. What a push towards Halls here, though, from the side of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, bonus round for EG. What a pinch towards the south side again. 2 players out there. Mark being get dropped.
What a good play. They did the crunch move. So essentially, like people call it a crunch, where you just crunch them from left and right. I like doing this play when I'm like playing with my friends. I just scream at them, all right, everyone, push either top attack side or bottom attack side. And you kind of like bang him from the front and bang him from the back.
A quick cleanup. This push through A Halls continues all the way to B to start recovering that ground and making sure this defuse is possible. Def doing his damnedest now to get this back.
Yeah.
Oh, call.
This is just going to be a common courtesy. Even Zekin doesn't get a kill out of that one. Def, will you save your weapon? You will at least. That's the silver lining for Sentinels into that round, but
is EG good?
Map control, more space.
How does this affect DSG's legacy, though?
One in a full diffuse, at least so far into this game. Sentinels has to figure out now how they could actually drop Demon 1, prevent these smokes from actually being useful for the retakes for EG.
In the beginning of that round, it looked like Sentinels was set up for pushes to come from everywhere, right?
If Saucy and Pancada on Sentinels... Okay, so when they announced the Sentinels team, like 6 months ago, like, oh, we have Zekin, Def, and Tens. It's like, oh my god, such great shooters and a good IGL. And then they announced Pancada and Saucy, both ex-world champions. Everyone said, oh, this is the super team right here. And then Cloud9 had Yay, Vanity, and the core, and everyone's like, oh, this is the super team here. But
activating the fault line.
We're seeing like
from EG, holding him back a little bit more.
A change in that. Like Cloud9 made the change, and Sentinels kept this core, kept 4 of the 5. But they're 2-4. They're the same record as EG, right? And EG kept their like team even though they were struggling. Well, not really. They swapped out VCJ for Demon 1.
Nice little clothesline there from Ethan through the smoke. Beauty of the Phantoms.
I'm more interested in the Brazilian part because bad timing. He went for the gun. Oh my! I think that's like landed on his head or something. Demon 1 versus Marv. Oh! Wait. He tried sticking that. Ethan was like crab walking, spraying into the wall. Like, I feel like Ethan's gun accuracy would have been so off by then. He was like crab walking, spraying. And he was still able to get Saucy, because Saucy tried sticking it, and then like halfway through sticking it, I think he realized, wait,
coming
now's
out.
my chance, but the timing on him getting off was
first kills
a little
right
off.
now. All of them in favor of Evil Geniuses, dominating the game, controlling Sentinels to start on Fracture. And here they'll get some more A main control and down B to get that control.
Even one's a crazy player. Like he's playing this like Jet, just walks
First off for the round.
out,
First off for the
goes
match.
to tunnels.
In the hands of Busio, just locking down towards tree. And Sentinels, you know, it's a default.
My man thinks he's still
Things
playing
down
Jet.
Both extremities here, top and
Like he's
bottom.
playing Brim. There's no
Being rather
escape if you
aggressive
get caught
and trying
on
to
the
get that
bad
information
timing.
when they're in their bonus rounds. And look at
And
that
he's like, well, I don't
opportunity
need
to close.
escape. I'll just kill the guy.
Busio winning right now. Looking for the timing peak. It's good for one.
Killjoy off. See, that's the minor downside when you off as anyone that's not a Jet or a Chamber. It's like if your enemy team is like stacking together, you're only gonna be able to get one, and you can't really get out besides walking.
Early into the round, no smokes to cover any of Canteen or Spawn. But now you hear the rotation coming out from EG. The round has been flipped basically into the map. The pulse planners are playing towards the defender Spawn. As now we have an orbital strike on the defender side. Jogging inching into the site.
Oh, he just runs it with 12 health, no fear.
For the sprays through these smokes from Canteen and Spawn. Ethan once again looking to
Oh,
fight
that
back.
plant
Another
spot is
smoke
so
coming out from
annoying.
Team 1. The first kill coming in.
You just
as
know they're
starting
all
into
like
this
posted
fuse.
up in your
Ethan is trying to put
CT.
it onto the halfway mark.
Oh, he's sticking! Dude, I don't know what happened with EG, man. Look at them. So back on the Brazilian topic, I think Sentinels was the first NA team to like try this theory of like seeing if Brazilian players have something they didn't, because Loud's really good, right?
They take pressure. But it was
And I think this experiment will kind of show like, is it Brazilian players that are something special? Or is it more Brazilian orgs, Loud specifically, that can introduce good structure? Because in League of Legends, it happened with the Korean teams, right? Like every team just started bringing in Korean players that won Worlds. And I would say all of them has not resulted in anything like crazy good. And that experiment, that thought process still goes on today. Like Team Liquid has a team of 5 Korean players. I don't know how they're doing in League. I don't watch a lot of League of Legends. And I think the theory here with NA, because Brazilian teams don't count against your import slot, everyone is allowed to import slots.
Just a few weeks ago, it's just flip-flop between strategies. Sentinels here do have a
You might see some NA orgs try to bring in Brazilian players, and Sentinels did that, right? They're like, oh, well, Brazilian players won the last Champions event, so why don't we just get a couple of Brazilian players? Because the bonus here is that they don't count towards our import slot, and we can import someone like Def, who's like British, right?
Before they really even execute here. And it's actually a very, very passive play by Evil Geniuses. They're expecting to get this.
Those Korean players I watched, not really. Like even now, didn't they bring in a guy who just like literally just won? Like a coach?
And maybe just play this off of contact all around the board, honestly.
I think you're rewriting history a little bit there. I think League of Legends team have brought on like Korean players that recently came off an amazing international performance in Korea.
It's going to be towards this B site. Pencana also inching towards Arcade as the rest of Sentinels are looking to execute here towards this B site.
Oh.
You mentioned
What? You're not even seeing them. This is why defenders like playing Phantom. They're way better for shooting. Oh my god, Calm. Okay, on one hand, Calm got caught with his util out, like, again. On the other hand, Def really should have killed a jumping Jack Sova.
Comes down to those protocols of EG. The ping pong, the left and right. The tap onto the spike.
Dude, no one can clutch this out. You're at 31 health against 3 people in heaven being held and you're being diffused on.
Tough. You know the demise.
Did what he could.
A full stick.
Saves that weapon, but that shows you how.
Oh my.
God, no!
Ethan's all 3 kill that round. He did not see the enemy. 2 smoke spam and 1 box spam.
What a game from him, honestly. Just a thorn in the side there and a nail in the coffin to end it. Ethan,
I mean, this is why defenders love Phantom. No bullet tracers, the sound is lower, and also it's more spammable.
Pearl and Fracture become smoke fests. But yeah, Sentinels just cannot find an answer.
And that's why attackers favor Vandal, because you're just looking for a pick, right? As an attacker, you just need a pick, and the defense kind of breaks down a bit.
Members up Vansili, they just seem to be getting torn apart. Or taking a lot of chip damage before they're finding.
Sentinel has no import players? I thought Dev counted as import. I know he's British. I mean, maybe he's like American British, but I just know like he's British.
And see if Sentinels can find a frag out of this. Boostio with the operator again.
He's trying to get that pick into Sans. At least he's able to hold that angle for 2 of his teammates to fall back.
I wonder how Pancada and Sassy are seen in the Brazilian community, because they're super passionate. Loud is like the biggest Brazilian Valorant org, and they kind of like, I mean, it's not just like leaving Loud, it's also leaving your country essentially, right? Not just leaving your country, you're leaving like your entire a continent to play for North America. Jesus Christ, they got the defuse.
I mean, it feels like I'm just a song being held on loop. It's diffused through smokes and diffuse after diffuse here for EG.
Oh my gosh. And then the aggression into A main there as well, knowing the numbers, knowing the pressure, and being the body block, like you said, to help out that defense.
I've been trying to like look into more like South American memes. The only thing I've learned so far is they use a term called, I don't know how to pronounce it, bagre? Bagre? It means catfish. Which I think means like misleading, kind of like American catfish, I imagine. But like Americans use catfish in like a dating context, but South Americans use it as like oh, you're kind of a fraud or underperforming. Maybe someone in chat from that scene can confirm.
Just on the top over here by Giacomo. And then greeted by Demon. There's just no opportunities now for Sentinels to really try to find any opening towards this B site. No lurk kills. No ways to turn around back in the favor of the attack side.
Bagre Dior. Bagre Dior.
Potentially, Pancada saving the weapon.
Evil Geniuses they have an amazing read on this, and if it's not even the read on the play,
he's gonna win.
It is the personal play in that action. As we just saw, Giacomo towards tower there. The rest of the map, Ethan with multi-kills on these rounds.
I mean, EG looking good, man.
Having an answer is actually just EG playing so damn well right now. Sometimes that's what it comes down to.
The Sentinel CEO is so... He's like...
2 of the 4 teams in Americas right now that have made
So right now, I'm kind of like on CEO watch, because I'm no longer comparing myself to like other content creators. I more have to compare myself against like CEOs now. The Sentinel CEO, like his tweets are so colorful.
Wow, they're back and where'd they go? You know,
like
so
a troll on Twitter impersonated him, like called himself like Rob Sentinels, and made like a troll tweet, hey, we're dropping our entire Valorant roster and pulling out. And obviously, like, people know it's a troll, and like, it got some impression. But he saw it and tweeted at Elon Musk, hey, how is your platform allowing this? Huh? Do you want my $8 that bad? Wow, damn. He's a passionate CEO. And the NRG CEO, I see like tweet as well. So NRG's strategy right now is to, as far as I can see on Twitter, put sapnap and everything. Like
And she must be
every
happy as
tweet
well.
NRG
Italy's
makes is about
team figured
Sapnap,
out the way that
which
it
makes
will work
sense
against
because like
each
they
team
made
week
him
to
like
week. Different play styles and finding
like
that
they're
flow.
paying him,
Seems like
and like
Calm
part of the
on
reason
that.
why you pay
Sova
content
has
creators
just
is to
been
be able to like
nailing it recently.
capitalize on
Ethan
them
coming back into
for
form a little bit, and Demon One being able to slide
impressions
in
and
is
social
something-
media.
I mean,
But
like,
my God,
you
NRG's
say
Twitter is
that's
all
something you could always
Sapnap.
ask for, but Cloud9 did it with 2 players. It's like, what's going on here? What are we missing? What are they doing so well across the board? Right now,
Yeah,
they're showing
I
us with
find the
8-0
content side
on
of
Fracture. This is the Evil
esports to be
Geniuses
very
map
fun
pick.
to try and
So
like
they're picking it
analyze.
for, a
The
good
performance,
reason.
actual esports side,
Ultimate here for
that I
Demon
have
One
less
to start
idea
off this
about.
next round.
Like
Sentinels,
actual what makes a good
Stinger
team good,
and
right?
Vandal buy as we have that
And
Vandal.
I don't think that's a question like people really have figured out.
They're
In
quite
esports is
far
like
away
what
from
makes a
Ultimates,
good team
too.
good.
They could
I think the
try to
only
focus on
like
Seekers, get
scene that has
themselves
done
something
it
for a
well is
further
the
round.
Korean League of Legends player.
And
I think
actually,
Korean
Seekers,
League of
they-
Legends and
somebody else
European
got
CS
I think it's Def.
both have done a really good job at figuring out like a good system. NA is always just a mess. And my fear with Valorant,
Spike spawn.
Crucio's pushing through. Yeah, I mean, you're going through spawn once again to try to fight, catch players off rotates.
my
and you're
fear
just
with
getting greeted by
Valorant,
just EG one step ahead every single time.
nice shot.
And it sort of repeats
Poor
itself.
Pankata. The worst. Okay, any Killjoy players in chat, the worst feeling as Killjoy is when you're playing defender, your entire team's on the opposite side, and they all get murdered. So you, as a lone Killjoy, with your little turret, have to like run over and retake against 4 people on site
There's a good plan.
with no
Saucy-
utility to
Saucy
actually
had
do
the spike, so
anything.
it was plant spike, have seekers.
Your,
but I also
your
think it was
only
like
job
that
is to
give
hold down
for
one
whoever
side.
else
So when your
grabbed.
team
And
on the
then
other
kill
side
for
just
your ult.
fails at
They
their
could've
job,
had seekers right off that
you're
ramp
then
grab
put in this
and gotten into
terrible.
sight. EG is not
Yeah, it's like
toying around right
I'm
now.
just a Killjoy.
Everything
Yep.
is needed to get into these sites. The peaks are not working. The util has to be there first. And Evil Geniuses pick up a 9th round here in the first half. Van Silly, I think they
Like,
took that
I'm
13-0
gonna
and were like,
try.
"Oh, that's how you do it." Okay, let's try to put that into action. Oh my gosh. More from Calm. Figuring out that corner was held. And that was a spike again. And not that Saucy made a wrong move with the spike there, but they didn't have sight clear. They needed to try and pick up a weapon or drop one. So that was the option. That's where the team was going. You could see everybody on the same page.
It happens to Lily a lot.
Still not working. As EG was one step ahead.
And that is kind of the life of a Sentinel.
For all the Sentinels. We just
If you're
had
watching
that
one
8-hit
side
from
and the other
Satellite
side just gets
Outpost
completely
leaders
blown
sticking
out,
together.
you really do not have much to contribute.
Yep.
3 ultimates available, going into default. Lock down and clear out the B site.
My fear with the you can hear the you can tell the crowd has a lot of Sentinels fans because Zekin got 1 nade kill and there was so much cheers. My fear with the scene, Valorant scene, similar to most esports games, is that NA has a lead at the beginning, but eventually they. What?
First kill onto Def. You have the lurk coming back from Zekin at the underpass. Orbital strike coming into B.
Ooh, oh.
Looks like Sentinels get themselves a round. And a pretty good one at that, keeping quite a few up. Able to build a little bit of economy right now. They have quite a bit of ways to go.
Is that the NAC has a lead usually, but they fall behind because the NA mentality, A, is just so individualistic, and B, in NA, it's always so much profitable, more profitable, and better, and healthier, and superior in every way to just be a streamer.
Evil Geniuses in the early rounds here.
Oh, Boostio did the old turret peek into eye peek strat. Whoa, he re-peeks that? A raise just, you heard a raise satchel on site. I'd be terrified to re-peek with the op there.
Placing swarm grenade.
Good defense set up already. They don't have to deal with too many ultimates here unless Jogamo goes crazy. Nope.
Jogamo now getting stopped. with the rocket in hand.
Yep.
Greeted by Pankata, and that's going to be the last two players. Admitting defeat into this round, EG falling back into the save. Sentinels able to string 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, I know
now, so you
Sentinels
talk about
won
trying to get
an
down
event
limping.
2 years ago. I know
Hopefully
Optic
they can
won an
walk soon
event
before we
last
switch
year.
into the half. At least we're seeing some good things for Sentinels on
But,
how they executed into that B side.
Like NA at Lock-in got blown out pretty hard. Not a single NA team made it past the first phase, right?
Composition Sentinels has brought to Fracture. We had week 1 versus 100 Thieves.
So,
they played the double duelist. Then
we'll
we
see
saw
at
them
Tokyo
bring the Fade
Masters.
double initiator comp in,
Fnatic's
and
looking
now we
real
get
good.
Sai for Assassi here. So another change. So 3 comps
DRX
throughout
is looking
the
real
times they
good.
played Fracture already. So getting that smoothed out takes time. Really tough.
NA, I
is
still think
knocking
NRG is
on that
good.
door right
They're
now,
just
letting Sentinels
struggling.
know this is not one of the refined comps for them. Last 2 rounds though may show us different.
Cloud9 has done a great job though.
B now here for Boostio.
Like everyone was
Has a
clowning
lot
on
of
them,
Killjoy utility to
but
stop and delay plant.
you gotta give them full respect and props for what they've been able to do.
From Sentinels.
Wow!
Very nice flashes to open it up. Sasi gets the first blood into Dish. Weaken EG holding back towards the A site as they had to fight into the last round with small shields.
Ooh, that was his. That was his.
Moving up from Sands.
That was. Oh man, if he didn't just get headshotted at that moment,
As if a 5 versus 2, things are looking
that was a
really good now.
3K waiting to happen. Oh, here comes the Killjoy retake.
Lucio moving up, looking for the flawless, but it's
Demon
not.
one.
Victory should be coming in. Orbital strike to even run the clock down as Bar save it from that previous round. And with that, second gets the final kill. And we do have what could potentially be a blessing for Sentinels now because we have a 9-3 half.
The last few rounds are necessary to create that cushion, to take off the pressure of the pistol round. Like we said, EG
Cloud9
set
coach
best
is a
pistol
wizard.
round
Yeah,
percentage here, so
I've only
good to come out
heard
swinging.
amazing things
All right,
about
well, let's head over to
MCE.
the floor. We actually have Dan Dryad talking with BCJ's family.
Thank you guys so much. And I'm over here with Deanne and Brent, and like you said, family for BCJ and his mom and uncle. So the first thing I want to ask you guys is, we heard that you guys are not from here. Where are you flying from?
We came in from Michigan. We live near Detroit. Yeah.
Okay. And how has been all that support when it comes to even flying
I'm
here
okay.
to support BCJ? We saw him on the desk,
It's-
and he's a big personality. We love
It's so
seeing him
sweet
every
that
time. He's
BCJ's
always
like
bringing
mom and
something to the
dad
Valorant
are
team.
coming out.
So tell me a little bit more about what
But I also
it's
feel
like,
like slightly
kind of
bad
having
because
that
he's
full
benched.
support, supporting
You
him
know?
in different ways from online to all the way here.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I wonder if they
We've always
planned this
supported
trip
Brendan.
Yeah.
I saw
a
he
long
was
time
into
ago
gaming when he's like
before he got
14
benched,
stuff,
and
he's
they
like
just
the
kind of
top
like are
500
going
of
through with it.
Overwatch. And I'm like, in the world? I'm like, oh my god. Like, that's amazing.
But look at them.
And
They're
then
so
he got into
happy their
Apex
kid
and
is
started to
playing
support him
Valorant, right?
100% right from the start. So fun watching him play.
And you, Brent, as an uncle, is that kind of a different perspective as well?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are super interested in all of his games.
Oh, uncle.
We watch all the games.
Big
and-
watch parties.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
we
so
have watch
cool.
parties. But it's super important, I think, to have that family background
Yeah.
to support the players.
Is it hard for you guys to keep up with everything that he's doing? You know, like all the matches that you have to follow, him being on the desk, or is it just...
It's not hard at all. We watch every single one. I'm super interested. I follow everything on social media. I'm not big into like replying and saying
BCJ was
things,
one of
but
the
I
first
see
few
everything,
people I
everything.
reached
see
out to
every
as well
video,
when I was
every
looking to
game,
get into
everything.
Valorant.
Okay, and last one real quick. Give me
'Cause
predictions
I'm like,
for
well,
this
this
matchup. Is it gonna
XSET
be
team's
2-0 for
pretty
EG?
good, and 4 of the
don't
5
like to
players
see
are
it.
gone, and BCJ's available, so let me message him.
We have family buff here today. His sister and his other uncle are also
Okay.
here. So family buff is big for the
Okay,
team.
we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna send it to the second half and to the casters. Back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dan Dryad. And yes, indeed, they do have the family buff for today,
Yeah, they
BCJ
do.
and EG. As they had the lead 9-3, but it definitely shows now that from BCJ's uncle there, they do follow esports, they do follow Valorant. They see this scoreline at 9-3, and
Yeah, they know the curse. They know it is true. It looms over this game as we speak. And now as we hop into Fracture, EG on the attack side. Sentinels defending. Looks like they go for a 4-1, so it may just be a bailout here for Pankata if that site gets hit quick. Already playing towards
Alright, I'm
the
going to use my flat brain to figure out the strategy here. Oh, I like this.
EG all towards A.
IGL screams 5-man rush A right now.
Keep that turret alive for now. Oh, we may get a little action to start here.
Yeah, because even on Sentinel's side, it's 4 players on the A side. The recon are pinged out a few. So a small stalemate, but we're still looking to move forward and fight for Sentinels.
Oh.
Pushing back EG.
No, never re-hit. Never re-hit. Always. Oh, no. No. Holy. He gets one. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bro, you don't re-hit there, man.
Took a breather at the halftime.
Jesus. Literally just walked into him.
Frenzy supremacy on that one, if you will. Very nicely done, and a much needed round for Sentinels here, to be honest. This could have gone very bad if Evil Geniuses picked up their first. They took first and their bonus last half. Yeah, they're feeling it. So Sentinels.
I don't wish bad things on anyone, but I think it would be really funny if Sentinels came back.
Already out. So I think Sentinels can figure out where this.
I have no dog in this race, but
as they just start distributing eco back and forth here.
I also like drama.
Saucy going into that sky.
Right.
Flash down towards Dish. Blinded some players. Knows there's at least one player out there, and then they go for the Trailblazer out towards the bottom A site. That allows for Sentinels to push forward. Ustio just waiting for a peek behind that turret, but it's not even needed. Zekin spotted him, drops him with the stinger. That opens up the A site for EG to move in. Saucy now being cornered.
Oh.
But still makes it out alive here.
Honestly, to get the plant down.
Rotation back from Sentinels and a lot of pressure coming in towards the A-Hall. Zekin high.
He's right next to him. He's right next to him.
He does get the kill to Zekin, but gets traded off by Death.
You know what? That's good. You remove some armor. My favorite thing on pistol round, like bonus rounds, after winning pistol, is both sides will always say like, "Nice, we got." They either say, "Nice, we got the round win," or they say, "Nice, oh, we got some guns off them, we got some armor off them." Everyone's always super positive. Yeah, that was a good eco. We didn't win, but we got the plant down. We dinked their armor off. We got some guns off them.
This is the big round. This bonus.
Right there.
If they can shut down Evil Geniuses here, no saves, no nothing. That puts Sentinels in a very good position. Pencata as well, having a much better week now to start off than last week. So it's great to see him back on form as well for the team.
Blinded.
So combination for EG to gain dish control. Recon Dart with the satchels. Free orb now for Jogimo.
Ooh, they're doing the waka waka.
On the A site for Sentinels. As a fault line came out from death towards the bottom side.
You'll see on bonus rounds like these. Nice, Ethan. You'll see on bonus rounds on these. Teams will, the teams that's bonusing with the Stingers and the Spectres will always get very aggressive. Because you have to, right? If you play normal against like 5 rifles, it's going to be really tough. You get aggressive, you all rush out one place, you trade like 2 for 1 maybe, and you're pretty happy.
Solo too. I think only one of those was even in the eyes of Calm because the swing was so wide.
Yep.
Coming out from Zekin there, but yeah, not much else than Ethan being Ethan on that. 15 and 5 on the breach this game. Rolling Thunder ready now after that bonus round. And now Sentinel's gonna have to figure out how they want to retake or push this map, right? Do you want to push?
Guy shot bodies in eco.
Don't have as much freedom to try and
well, it was a
take the
3v1. But yeah, when it's someone posts an ace clip and it's an eco, like he has a rifle against pistols, I'm like, eh. Like you should. Oh, good flash. Ooh. No way this dude got full flash in front of 2 people and just lived. Oh, this raises. Oh! That's such a good flash by the breach. It bailed up the Raze. Gave Raze enough time. Ooh, they call him the Iceman. because he's melting under the pressure.
Marv almost found that 1v1. Almost. But they were toying with that sidestep. EG just on the step ahead. And yeah, wow. That looked a lot like Sentinels was going to be able to clean up the round quite a bit. But the ults coming online for EG really flipped the switch there. After seeing the show or the Rolling Thunder go through A halls without hitting anybody, you thought it might just be there's no return on investment. Other
That's
than
a good
openings
blind.
for EG to
Like
find
all
where they come
those
around the
players
corner.
were pushing a
Not the
raise.
case, just the post plant win, 11-5 now. So they've taken bonus round on. Can they keep Sentinels down? A stinger buy on that side. Zekin one away from ultimate, so we may see that try to be grabbed somewhere. No, they're actually satellite. So if they don't push up, Zekin's gonna have to look for a kill on that. And they wait this round out. Again, down towards a minute for a lot of these teams. Both teams having an average time of up to 40 seconds or 42 seconds on average to get that first kill. So you can see their teams that play the extremities, wait, pull out util, and wait for that signature to come back up.
Sentinels, what's up?
And AG's okay with
They
that
got
too.
4 on this side.
Because if you're looking at the game plan from EG, especially on a map like
Okay,
this,
EG.
like Fracture,
Remember the
see
rule.
all the orbs that are getting picked up by these players.
We never commit.
These ultimates as we move into the rounds. Now in the
Go, outside. Leave. Don't re-hit. Do not re-hit. Do not re-hit. Just leave. Just leave.
Space into B site. All of the players of Sentinels rotated across, but now some doubts. Sasi rotated back towards the A site, so that's weakened out the defense onto B. And it's only Mark by himself.
Oh, this is crazy.
Ethan stays inside the site.
This is such a scary situation. This guy's on site. He's stuck between 10. Yep.
The Stingers are actually working very good for
They have to win this long fight.
Two left alive. Showstopper to come in for a second to clear out the B.
One enemy remaining.
And somehow it's just all of these Stingers are working in
See,
favor of
I just,
Sentinels. This was supposed to be a round where
like that feels like such a force, you know?
that low buy from Sentinels. They were down, but they're definitely
Like, you
not
know
out.
they have pretty bad guns.
Evil Geniuses losing
Like, that was their
one, and
eco, right?
Sentinels
And
coming up
you're
with a
just running on
much-needed
site.
round. I think they
And
lose
yeah,
that.
things are
Team deserves
smoke,
to win
but
Evil Geniuses, so Sentinels doing
look, I'm a
everything
backseat
they
Barry.
can here to keep themselves in the round.
I'm
That's
a hard stuck
teamwork on
diamond.
retake. You could see
But
all
you
the
saw there, like,
util
it's just so
was spent
uncomfortable,
as they
right? It
retook
feels
blinded
uncomfortable.
and just
There's a guy Heaven who's like jiggle peeking. There's a guy Jem who's
the only
jiggle
one staying
peeking.
alive, but
And you just have the one planter, and he's getting shot from the back, and then he turns around, he's getting shot from the front too.
Marv with his ultimate, and they're gonna start stacking. They like taking this satellite side at least for some pressure. I think this is exactly.
I
what
know those
Sentinels
teams
need to start doing a bit
just
more of, getting that early
love
info so they can at
re-hitting.
least
People always
start
think
to
it's like,
form a
okay,
plan
we're gonna
before
show
they
presence
get
here.
into the site.
We're gonna be quiet for 10 seconds, and then we're gonna go. Because if we're quiet, they think we're leaving. But it never works.
EG are inching into the A-halls, waiting for our timing to get into.
Like, it's a
Sense.
100
But
IQ
instead
play.
for Sentinels, you talked about the ring around the Rosie. 3 players moving up towards Dish. Jogamo just waiting for an opportunity to move inside the A site.
Where you think you're doing a
After the
smart
control of the
thing.
orb, Sentinels are moving back into A site.
Like, there's logic there. Because you're like, you're
Tough work
faking,
play here from Boostio
you're
towards
baiting
B.
them. It's a trick.
Still underneath audio cues.
So you
as
get
well.
credit for
Philip
that,
Lucio,
but
right,
it's
you're
like the
hearing people
oldest
move
trick in the
through
book.
spawn, which way they're
Show
rotating.
presence,
So EG, well,
stay quiet,
flexing a little bit to
and it's like
A-halls.
surprise we
Turn
never
Sentinels
left.
to just on the map. Smokes for
See, I like this one more, right? It keeps them guessing. Like, you can tell Sentinels is like, is it left? Is it right? Is it left? Is it right?
Yeah.
They have 2 on A, 3 on B.
Jogamo ADSing, but only one player is holding.
30 seconds left.
And now there's 2 smokes here. See, this I like. The Sentinels rotate. They're all funneled into the connector and Heaven. I like this way more.
But after all of these sprays and the spams coming out from the util, the plant then comes
Nice
in
plant.
into the corner for long A.
Com's holding for the lurk.
Just off the delay satchel.
So once...
Another all coming
Oh, nice. Oh. Nice Com. See, that was good by Com, right? The most important thing when you're... Like, he was lurking for the rotate. And once you kind of know no one's coming, you have to, like, help your team on site. That's one big thing, like, I'm going to say some of my lurking friends do. If you guys watch me play with my friends or my friends play in general, we have a lot of players that like to lurk because
and they're able to just absolutely turn Sentinels.
Some of them
for a
just
loop
like
as
baiting.
Sentinels tries to pull,
I'm
tries
not
to
gonna
stay on
sugarcoat it.
no ground gain.
They
Well,
don't
with the six
understand
here,
team play. They're in
game
low
point for
elo. They're like,
EG.
hey, I would like to lurk
We'll
this
see.
entire game.
Sentinels do have enough to buy. The
You
Util
lurk
not looking too scared.
for a bit,
How they push Sentinels, or sorry,
but
Zekken
eventually you
down
have to come
B
help your
to
team.
help.
And that's what Calm did, right? He was lurking for the B push
Looks like
out,
they'll re-rotate
the
back
flank.
for a reset here after
And once he
Sentinels
kind
trying
of
something in the
knows
beginning
that
of
no
the
one's
round on B
coming, he
extremity.
instantly rotated to help on A and traded that kill against Zekken.
They haven't been deterred from any of the strats they want to run.
Because Zekken lives there, he goes peeks A main. If he peeks A main, he's killing maybe one more person on site.
Come had the Hunter's Fury, but it still decides to move into the site.
Yeah.
That'll force the
Oh, he left a small gap for him.
Sentinels looking to play the retake, a double flank out towards Dish. That's going to be Zekken to try to open it off. Nice little stun out from
Oh,
Saucy's
Zekken's going
Trailblazer to get the
ham.
assist onto that kill. Things are looking pretty good for Sentinels for the retake, at least for now. Player advantage. Calm still inside of the site. Yeah,
But that's why when I play with my... Oh my god.
To start off the series.
How many multi-kills did we get that game? And through smoke.
Interesting. EG's jerseys have numbers on them.
Put the fact that evil geniuses continue to read Sentinels in and out. The push and the pull was so good. Ethan back on
why.
top of his game right now. And that is a scary prospect for Sentinels moving into map 2.
And it almost feels that game of patience really came out for Evil Geniuses towards the end. Sentinels did a great job at least to find and probe. And then when you're starting to figure out, okay, EG's not really here, where do we want to fight back? They're overcooking, overthinking, and EG just capitalizes on their attack side too. Now showing why EG wanted to choose this map.
All right, you know what?
Yeah, they take fracture,
I'm
they
on
take
board the
first
EG
pistol,
train.
they don't use- they
For the player's sake, not for the org's sake.
basically take the bonus round on to bring us into map 2. We'll be right back to have that map for you after this.
I want them to experience happiness. Oh my god, the esports athlete of the year.
He is currently unstoppable. He is just a consistent demon. El Diablo.
He's super nice.
Hey guys, it's Yang.
I
Welcome
talk
to
to
my
him
course on
like
optimal Valorant training.
every now and then, and he
I'm
kind
gonna
of
be
like gives
demonstrating
me
now some angle clearing, also
ideas and
corner
like
as well,
advice too.
balance on these off angles.
Red Bull gives you wings.
You guys have coffee? Black coffee.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I'm okay. All right, now I kind of want the EG2O. Not because I don't like my boy Tarek. Okay, no, here's the way I see it, right? Sentinels lose and the esports arm doesn't do well, which means they want to invest more into the content creators. So they'll give Tarek the bag. So if anything, me rooting for Sentinels is good for Tarek. And that is why I'm praying for their downfall right now. Can DSG still qualify for playoffs? I think about 20 things need to go right. And the first thing is us beating TSM and M80. And and the other teams that are like in range of playoffs all need to do really badly. So every game that we need to win, we need to win. And every game we need one of the other teams to lose, they need to lose. If at any point, like a certain team wins their game, it's just over. But it all starts with us still having to win both our games. So I guess mathematically speaking, it's not 0%. It's like 0.5%. So no, I wouldn't say, yeah, it's mathematically impossible. Is DSG the second most popular team? In North America, if you only go off Twitter impressions per tweet, I think we're #1. But I think that's the only metric where we are like technically #1.
Itself for Sentinels as EG take them in a dominant win, 13-6 on Fracture, now sitting 1-0 up in the series. Welcome back to VCT Americas. I'm Mimi, joined again by BCJ and Mel. And Mel, the start to this series, we were expecting it to be close, but really it was dominant from Evil Geniuses.
This is honestly an incredible start by EG. I don't think any of us were expecting this, and I'm meaning that like the best way possible. We were really expecting that close engagement with Sentinels and EG, but EG just looks so clean. All of their retakes look so coordinated. Ethan, especially, his util from the beginning was impeccable.
The first half, really, it was what, like 6 out of 9 of those retakes that they managed to win? It looked great from EG.
Yeah, and I mean, take a look at those post plants. This is exactly what I was talking about in the pre-show. You get the bomb down 6 times, you win 4 of them. That's a great percentage. Meanwhile, looking at Sentinels, they got the bomb down 9 times, and we're only able to close out 3 of those rounds. I mean, that's tough.
That's brutal. And the game plan for EG was working.
Aren't you guys
well,
#1
but
at being
this round that you
0-3?
wanted to
Not
chat about
actually.
with the Silva comp these
G2 is
Yeah,
also
so you usually see
0-3,
this on
so
a
we're
post-round
tied.
strat, but here it is on a kind of like a bonus. They're going to decide to drone through the door and just crunch topside, crunch bridge.
Oh man,
Crunch spawn, right? And
I
that's
really
just such a
looked down on the
dangerous play for it, and
G2
it looks like
Valorant
they were
Twitter
already here, and it caught them off guard, and
because
that's going to be what you're looking to do in
I feel
those
like
bonus
their
rounds.
Twitter strategy
how
is
EG,
just
the two
like
players in
purely
spawn were
farming
playing their
impression.
lives, and that's what you just don't see on the
They
scoreboard.
tweeted
They were holding
about
Sentinels
me
there for
more
like 20
times
seconds
than
while their teammates
DSG
came out
has
through B main to flank on the
because
post
they
lane
are
and
so
retake together.
desperate for social media impressions, and they also tweet like once every 10 minutes.
To rally back in that first half, it really
And
seemed like at one
so the
point
strategy
that
there, I'm
might have
gonna
just
give you
boomed,
guys
like they
some
were just gonna get
details
rolled
about
over. They didn't get a few rounds right at the end.
the
Like, it
way
was really
these
brutal.
esports orgs
Yeah, it was
think.
looking really tough
They
from the get-go,
spam
but,
tweets
you
so
know, I
that
think
they
one of the
can
biggest
add
players
up
we were
all
looking
these
for was
impressions
Joe,
they
and I think
get.
he really stepped up on the
So
raise.
instead of saying,
That was something I
oh,
was
we
really
get
impressed
like,
with.
you know,
I
1,000
mean,
likes
you
per
look at these
tweet,
numbers,
what
these
they'll
are just
do is,
top-of-the-world superstar
hey,
raise
this
numbers.
month we
I think
got
it's really easy for Jawjamo to get overshadowed.
50,000 likes on Twitter.
But now that we're seeing,
And
like,
that's
these
why
raise
you
maps
should
finally get
sponsor
pulled out
us.
by EG, people have
We
forgotten
got
how
2
dominant, how
million
good he was at raise.
engagements.
And I mean, here it is. Look at this movement.
Because
He
they're
landed on top
hoping
of
to
top
kind of
site
like
on the corner and cleared
bait
Marvs when Marv had
these
such a hard
sponsors.
position to make a
Oh,
play.
thank you so
And his
much.
movement is just so
Into
clean to
like
watch, and his
sponsoring
results,
them by
his
giving
util,
them
he's got
like
everything you
these
want in a race
big
game.
numbers.
He might be the best
But we all know like the way like
he's
social
just
media
so
works is that
consistently good whenever he plays this agent, either back
if
with
you
or
have
PG,
like
this
if you
year as well, when
I'm
he
not
gets
sure
those
if
opportunities.
most of you here use
Really,
Twitter
really good
or
stuff
like
out
maybe
of him.
TikTok.
But another guy who
But
was
if you
having a
have
great
an
game
account
for the
that just
side of EG, who
spams
we were
tweets
talking
or
about
spam
in the pre-show,
posts
being kind of an emotional leader, helping
like
out with the mid-rounding, is
50
Ethan. And we're gonna take a look
posts
at
a
him
day,
warming up for map
eventually
number
you
2
just
in
stop
our
paying
aim lab
attention to
shoot-around.
them,
BCJ,
right?
this guy had another stellar
This is like,
performance on
oh,
that breach roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear why they
you
won
might
that
have
one. I
like
mean, look at this
it's
aim lab
just
score. I mean, he's
it's just
playing out of
spam.
his mind. Hashtag aim labs, hashtag ads.
Like the fact that G2 posts about
But
me
yeah,
more
so
than
basically, I
their
mean, look at
own
those
org
shots. But no, Ethan is a
kind
all-around
of
one of their
showcase
best
that
players.
because
He's
they're
one of
just
the most confident players
hoping
as well, if you get to talk to
I
him.
would respond
And
to
he's
it.
definitely vocal as well. So in out of the server. He's gonna be the
And I
most
do
impactful
pay a lot
player
of
for me.
attention
And
to
if
how
he
like
is
these orgs
clicking,
run their
they are
social
gonna
media
be
because that
so
is
much
ultimately
better.
what they're using to
It can't be
sell.
understated how
Because
hard it
I've
is
talked to
not only be,
sponsors
like,
before,
Friday,
and they're like,
but also
well,
having
this
that strong
org is
vocal and background
offering
voice for them and
a
being that
post
anchor
on their
emotionally
TikTok,
for the
and you
team.
guys
It
don't
just
have
cannot be
TikTok.
understated
And
how
I'm
difficult that
looking
is,
at these
and not
orgs
only
as
to finish it
TikTok,
off in
and it
a
has like
13-6 fashion on top of that.
5,000 views. It's like, okay, you want me to go make a TikTok and give you 5K views, and that will make you give me money?
Take a look at that one.
No one's gonna buy your stuff
for EG, this
because
puts them in a
of
really
one
good
TikTok
spot now,
post with
because
5K
now
views.
we're
Why
doing
do
the
you care so
series.
much
It's
about
not their
that?
choice, but it is Pearl, which
And they're
we
like,
were
oh, wow,
discussing
that's
this
just
one,
how
and
it's
there's
always
one
been done with our previous partner. And I'm like, are you still working with your previous partners? No, because they didn't give you value.
Let's not jinx it.
It's just
But,
like the
yeah, no,
way
Pearl's an
these
exciting match
orgs
for both
think and
teams. I
the
think we
way
talked
these
about
sponsors
how
think.
Marv
It's
Viper
also
really slots in
backwards.
really well. I still
And
think
it
that
really
that's
just
probably his
shows in
best
their
role on alert.
strategy.
What do we think about the competition?
And it's
Because
like it.
EG has been cooking
It's
on
like-
this one. They pulled out that
It's like you
crazy
either
Gecko
convince
card
them
comp to start with, then
of a
moved
more
away from it,
healthy
have tried
way
be
to
more
do it,
normal
or you
Harper
kind of just like,
variants.
okay, fine.
Last
If you
time
really
they
want
played
this,
against Loud,
we'll go
they
grow
did
this platform,
interesting,
or like we'll go
fade
work on
sky
this.
comp that just didn't get much
But
value,
I want
just
the
that
record to
13
show I
mil,
don't think
which
this is
for
good
actually
value
they
for
had.
you.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a major change. I think this is something that, I mean, you get 13 node, anyone gets 13 node. You're going to make changes, and especially seeing it left open in this series, expect big changes, expect composition to feel more comfortable to the players. I think we might see a Jet come out here.
I mean, that would be a good role for Demon One to slot into. He's looked so confident on the
I
maps
try
that
and
he has
avoid
played.
like talking
mean,
down
Blaster
on
team
other
is honestly
esports'
mostly motivated by the fact that
performance, team
they really
performance,
wanted a
players.
strong Jet player, which,
Because
by
I
the
think
way,
that shit's
Bajram's
hard.
still an incredible Jet, but
And I have like
Demon One definitely
immense
brings some
respect
prowess to the
for
server
all
when
the
it comes
players
to having
on
insane
every
knives
team
rounds, and there's a lot of rounds where they
for
really
putting
depend on him on
themselves
maps where
through
he plays
this,
Jet to have those
dealing with the
pop-offs.
stress,
So I
the
think a lot of it
pressure,
relies
the
on him, and if
uncertainty of being an esports player.
Well, let's flip our perspective over
But
to
when
the
it
other
comes to
squad in the server,
brands,
in Sentinels, because
sponsors,
that
and
is a
content,
brutal
I
one to lose.
definitely
And it's
am
coming
pretty
off now
opinionated,
3 dominant map
especially
losses
when
in
I
a
think
row
they're not
after
doing
their
a good
series
job.
last week. What do you guys think can bring
Like
them
it's the
back in
5
this?
players, it's the
Especially as
10
a player,
players on the
that's gotta be
server
pretty
competing
tough
against
on your
each
mental
other.
to lose another game like that.
But
I mean,
it's
if
the
you're Sentinels,
social
you're gonna
media
look at this
intern
and
running
say,
to
listen, guys, they didn't
Twitter,
have a strong showing on Pearl.
firing up a
This is gonna be
banger,
map that, you know, we think
stirring
we can
up
take. We
shit
looked pretty good on this.
to like
I think they had a
stir
13-6
engagement.
victory against one of the teams in the last couple weeks. They're looking confident. I think you just got to
As much as I give EG shit about
say,
like
hey, look at
the
what it
business
is. It's best of
practices
two.
and
You know what I mean?
their
We got 2 more maps left.
bad
We should feel
content,
good on
I think
Pearl.
their
Let's
social
get our
media is
confidence
pretty
back on
like
this map.
I mean,
consistent.
fact still
They
stands.
they
did
they have like
13-6 Loud, if I'm not
a
mistaken,
plan, which
on
is like
this map, and
we're gonna
Loud was the
hashtag
fruit,
live
EG.
evil on
So
every tweet,
Sentinels, like you said,
and
they
we're
need to
gonna
have,
put
like,
the
a
demon
goldfish memory
emoji
right
in
now.
every
Forget the
tweet.
first map, it's a BO2. This is where we make our stand, and this is where we stake
It
our
feels
time
like
in the field.
professional
On the other
to
side, though,
me.
for EG, this is just a continuation
With
of the confidence. Upset
Sentinels,
Leviathan last
100
week,
Thieves,
they win a dominant map over
G2,
Sentinels. This team honestly
it does
looks
feel
kind of
like they
unstoppable
hired
right now. It's gonna be
a
really
zoomer.
difficult to
Well,
shut
here's
that down.
I feel like they
There might be a
hired a
chance, maybe it's
boomer
because BCJ too,
who is
is
acting like a
EG gonna
zoomer
overheat a little bit here? We have seen
with
before
the
where
way
they
they
did take a
tweet,
map off of,
and it
off of
does
Loud
get more
before. It was
engagement,
looking good. They were looking poised
but
to
it
take
just
2-0,
lacks
but
that
it seemed like, I'm not sure if it was
professionalism.
nerves or, I mean, it was Antique, it gets them in that second map versus Loud. Do you think it's possible here that these boys, maybe a little inexperienced, can pull through?
It's always possible. It's always hard to tell. But I think the biggest thing going for EG right now is the momentum. I think it's a very underrated factor in this game, how dominant momentum can be. No matter what score lines both of these teams have had in the past on Pearl, if one team's coming out shooting lights out, it's going to be hard to beat them. So
It can be difficult.
If
Those,
EG comes out,
I like how
shoots
you say your
straight,
group
and
was
they
not
win,
fair
you know,
last
this
split,
pistol,
and then you got the easier group
they could
and
just
went
spiral
0-3 against
There's a big chance
the
of it, but just
bad
to give you
teams.
folks
I
a
mean,
quick
we're not
update,
doing good
there's
right
some
now.
audio issues
I don't know
on
if
the
you're
stage that the admins are currently
trying to
to
do
sort
like a
out. So we do
gotcha
have a brief
moment
delay getting into map number 2,
or
but you'll
bad
be
faith
able to see
argument,
that as
but
soon
I would
as
say our group was
possible.
definitely harder
to talk
last
a little
split.
bit more about this, for Sentinels,
And my main thing was that I prefer to play against new teams to know like where my teams stand. The issue has never really been group hard. Like it definitely sucks to be in the same group as M80 and the guard, but I don't think
I think it was because
I was
too, that they
unreasonable
were
to make that
pushing
claim,
together
and I think you're
really
being a little
grouped up on
disingenuous with
defense
changing
together.
my argument. I think the problem here is more that they are combining the score. The score you get isn't just dependent on your performance in your group.
The roles here for Sentinels.
It's also being compared to the other group.
Zekin is able to play
And
the duelist. I know he's
in
primarily
like
the race
in
player,
an
but
extreme example, I'll
that
give
is a
you.
big
Let's say
thing for
Group
them,
A
is to really
has
solidify,
6
hey, you're gonna play the similar agents on
NBA
every
teams,
map,
right?
no matter what. You can really hone in on
You
what
got
you need to work on.
Cleveland
Well, we're almost getting
Cavaliers,
into the match,
LA
and it looks like
Lakers,
that issue is just
and
finishing being
other
sorted out.
sports
So let's
teams I don't
talk
know the name
about
of.
the agent select.
And then
We
in
were
Group
discussing a little
B,
bit
you can
earlier,
have
but for
kindergarteners.
Sentinels, they've been playing the pretty standard harbor
6
fighter
teams of
protocol.
kindergarteners.
What does EG go to? Already, it's that Jet for Demon 1 mount.
And
Mr. Jet
that
said was gonna come-
kindergarten
I
team
think
in
Demon
Group
1 with the
B
op is just-
can
you've seen
have
it
a
on other teams
higher
in this map.
rating
It's just dominant.
than an
I expect them to
NBA
probably
team
play something
in
along
Group A.
the Harbor Viper line.
The problem here isn't like
it
the
seems like
fairness
they're
of,
gonna try to change
isn't necessarily the fairness and
Be interesting to
unfairness
see
of
what they
each
cook up, honestly.
group.
From the
It's
Sky,
more that
the
they're
Dawn, the
combining the
Harbor. It's
score.
been pretty standard so far. They're not going back to their Gecko roots or anything, which is a good thing to see. You know, for
And
Sentinels, they have the Harbor.
it's not really
so far with Zekken on the Jet.
How do you guys feel about Jaw on the Harbor? He just
a
switched off the
problem
razors,
that
we're
affects
giving him a lot of
DSG.
props for it. This is still a very
The
new
fact that
role.
G2
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge
went
role
first
swap.
in their
Not only is
group
that, you know, gonna be hard on him, but
and
it's
then
gonna be hard
second
on,
place
you know, the team
overall
as well. It's a totally
and
different shift. The
still
duels player now has to step
have
up. That's gonna be
less
team one.
points
We're gonna be
than the
looking at him to be more
guard
vocal
that
in
came
the mid-round and
second
pre-round.
in
Where does he
their
wanna go with
group
the op? Where does he want to get active?
We'll have to see
and
how
third
proactive he can
overall.
be in this matchup, 'cause
It
will be a
didn't
head-to-head
make
between
sense.
those
Like
two compositions.
in
Harbor
that
Viper
scenario, I would
versus
say
Harbor Viper.
G2
Sentinels
got
on the
screwed
ropes.
over, right?
Round 1 in the series. We'll have to see if they can rebound here on Pearl as we send it back
Like
over to your
the seeding of the
10
groups, it's whatever. It's random. It's like planned. It's whatever. But
Yes, indeed. We're going into
I
Pearl
haven't
this
seen,
time around, and yeah,
and this is why so much people in the Valorant scene gives night shift for this this whole setup.
from playing a Raze as duelist, moving
Your performance
into
in
a
one
Jet now
group
for both of these teams,
and the
I
points you
kinda
get
like it when you have
should
to play
never,
against double controller.
never
That
be
extra role, the
affected
extra
by
height,
an entire
moving over
separate
these
group
walls
that has
when you're
nothing
trying
to do with
section
your
onto
group.
the attack. On a map like Pearl right
That
now, I mean,
makes zero sense. No, I've never seen an esports or sports system that works like that. It's like, okay, you went 5-0 in your league, good job. But this other team, though, that had nothing to do with you, they went 5-0, but did a little better. So you're actually second place overall. Like, because you're not even playing against the same opponents, right?
Facilitating Zekken with that utility.
That's the problem people have.
Matchup versus here.
Like the seeding out the groups, I complain about it, but I understand that was randomness.
A little bit of Harbor
And it sucks to be like to be in the same group against M80 and the guard. But the biggest weird thing is just the you're combining the points and the results of two sides that never interact with each other.
Maybe it's going to be planted for him and post-plant util here, but Calm just making sure that A main is clear. And we're going to get a full Sentinels retake.
This is something that EG loves to do here. Getting control towards Arc, using the Harbor to get the high tide, crossing off the A site and get the plant.
Ooh, nice shot.
It's actually still EG that's holding it down for a bit.
Again, the frenzies, Van Silly.
Yeah.
Again, the frenzies.
This time with Ethan, too. Advantage comes out now for the attack. Tap onto the spike, and the ghost is being shot from A main. Booster runs through, but at least gets the info.
To that particular viewer's point, he was just looking to like shit on DSG, and I get that. But I hope like other people listening understand that the problem isn't, hey, I want the worst teams in my group so I can win all the time. It's like, nice shot. Is Zekken him? Oh, nice wide swing.
And EG with the pistol.
Very good wide swing.
Zekken
almost did it. That was his moment.
Almost the ace, Van Silly. 4 kills on that round for Zekken as we ask for it. And he is taken down in the end. Tall task there to be able to defuse and get that amount of pressure taken care of. Calm comes up.
Those, if you're good, you can beat everyone. That argument is one of the dumbest arguments I see all the time.
They got pistol round on Fracture. We'll see if Sentinels can
Some of the best teams in the world still lose.
there for Zekken since he did get the 4K. He'll spend a little bit of that money.
That's why the NBA season is like 80 games long, right? Because every team has a chance to win. Every team has a chance to lose. If you have that logic, then you're a complete moron who's never done sports.
And the slow push from EG will continue on A.
Exactly. EG trying to find out where this
It's like, okay, to determine the world champion, we make them play 100 games in a row, and they have to win 100 games in a row. Because if they're good, they can do it, right? No team's gonna win 100 games in the world, and like in a row. Like a good team might win 80 games, a bad team might win 10 games. But I've always hated the logic is like, well, if you're the best team in the world, you'll beat everyone all the time.
Players are falling in towards flower pots. Last 2 players
That's
from
why
Sentinels
seeding's
are
a
waiting
thing.
here.
That's
Of course,
why
the
double
B-side
elimination's a
rotating
thing.
across.
Because people who's actually like paid
painful so
attention
far
to
for
sports and
EG.
esports know that the best team in the world is not going to beat
Sentinels might
everyone
have had
all the
a
time.
bit of a reflank there coming around from B, but both players do decide to go back through spawn. And we see the last one here, Marv. Maybe a shot? Maybe a pixel?
Ooh.
No, a Demon
I love
1
seeing
now
Demon 1
getting
on Jet.
3, which adds to the Blade Storm coming up faster as well. Ethan's pretty close to his ult as well. So EG really looking to start this off. And you got to think Zekin's one
DRX beat every team, didn't they? Did DRX win lock-in?
Oh, the smoke
Are
kills
you
don't
paying
stop.
any attention?
From one map to the next, a few more going through these walls.
I don't think any team in Valorant has
Towards A
been
to start
undefeated.
here. That quick harbor, high tide, and a guiding
So as
light
Loud
most
as that
likely.
team. Loud already lost.
See if they can deny a push here on this A orb.
Wait.
I think Zekin might be getting that ultimate.
Did they lose? Well, they lost lock-in.
Quick 1-2. I wonder if they deny the orb themselves, right? Not too much mid play this game. We'll have to see which team decides to go for that first. Usually it's the defense harbor wall coming up. Is Zekin will start off with a first
Seeding
one,
does
and he
matter.
Get Demon 1 down. That's a big.
That's why
frag
seeding's a thing.
confidence for him and for the team to start.
And it's
off.
not like, hey, everyone just randomly play against a team. That's why there's a #1 seed and #2 seed. That's why in this entire league, there's going to be a first place, a second place, a third place. And that determines who you're going to be matched up
Turret
against.
Up towards Art. That's going to sound the alarm for Sentinels to get ready. Knowing now that there's potentially a split into A. EG just looking to play the contact first, and as the site's clear, now it comes to full execution. Ethan off that frag gets the Seekers. It's gonna get info off the players into spawn. Nobody watching, nobody rotating, and nobody flanking from Sentinels. All of them are moving in from spawn.
Dog-eat-dog world out there.
Second once again leading the charge. Clearing up the space into the retake of the A side. Joggimo playing very close. They are in a bonus, trying to play with the Spectre, dancing it around.
Ooh, Joggimo.
Info on the left. Onto the right as well. And that gives enough time for the rest of EG just to play the pulse plant pretty much. Denies here off the nano swarms.
What's the plan? Triple swing out Art?
Players waiting on the other end, and it's Stolpen, Kata, and Zekin.
Oh, good half by Zekin. Really good half by Zekin.
As the protocols were there for both of the teams, just dependent to see.
He would have had it even if he didn't have it.
And for this map, Sentinels do change it up. They get that bonus for themselves, and it is Zekin to do it. That confidence continues to ring out from the duelist for Sentinels, and they need rounds now. That Blade Storm's up. He might even get a drop towards somebody now. Just regular buy, you can see his credit spent. But it is going to
Total troops have never lost if you don't count the losses.
A lot of B main push from Sentinels.
ESG has never lost if you don't count the losses either.
A can be a simple setup.
I know there's a lot of them, but don't count any of them.
You don't have to wonder what's going on. You already see they're almost set up to push B main once again. It looks like they'll pull off this time as we watch EG go for A. That's reckoning up. And Zekin will actually be rotating pretty quick here. He's going to try to be all over the map to be where EG's activating, but they are...
I've been thinking about like what other esports to get into, but it's all just so expensive. I think
this will be one of the first B hits.
when I get my first official sponsor, I will look into getting into another esport.
From Saucy. At the tail front of the B site. Tail end of the B site, and flashes to find info towards the B link.
Right now, like I kind of want to just get into another esports, but I know I have to hold myself back because I don't think getting another team will really change much. I don't know, maybe it will. Maybe if I sign one more team, I can get some more sponsors or a sponsor.
Oh, they've identified a lot of players just by shooting, actually. So EG should have a good idea of how this site is going to be.
Oh, Demon 1's down.
Taken back by Sentinels.
And another duel from Zekin 1 against Demon 1. Saucy looking to flash deep into site to allow Zekin to move in. Counter flash out from Ethan, who gets the kill back. Nicely done as he's still holding the back lines. Def looking to go for that flank. Looking to pinch, but he gets sprayed. Another kill through the smoke. And nothing seems to be working here for Sentinels. There's no cover, no safety.
TFT, bro. TFT has no A, no money, no esports. Nice shot.
At least trying to do a little bit of damage before he escapes. But
the
it's
reason why
still gonna
TFT
be the round
esports
for
doesn't really
EG.
work is because
That's crazy, Vansilli. These
I see,
smoke
like,
spams,
TFT is
anytime
more
this is
considered
happening in the
poker,
game,
right?
I'm like, all right, I'm standing in the
Like, you
hot
play
zone
the
too
odds.
much. Where
The
the
best
spam's coming
player
down, the
generally
angle, the
win over a
timing,
long enough
just
like
change
sample
everything you're
size.
doing.
But it's also
Just,
super
I don't know, switch
individualistic.
hands.
You don't need a
That's
team for
so
that.
wild that they keep getting spammed
There's
like
no
that, and you really can't
TFT
have
player
control.
that's
You know,
on a
maybe that's the
team
util that was gonna
because
have
it's
that call
purely
and get
competitive.
spammed down, you know?
Every,
Things are
I'm gonna
just
say it now
getting
before
stopped in their tracks for
kids in
Sentinels
chat start
right now.
spamming like
No
Cloud9
way to come
Soju.
up with a plan
The
when that
only
happens.
reason
3-1
TFT
now.
players
Evil
are
Geniuses,
on
do
teams
not
is
let that
because they're
bonus go
good
any further
streamers,
than one
and
defuse
the
round for
esports
Sen.
org then can
They're
capitalize
back
on their
onto a
sponsors.
low buy. Pancata does have a Phantom for himself and a few bits of armor.
Do you
but they're
think
piecing
K3
together what they
Soju
can
is showing
to
up
know they
to
can buy next
TFT
round.
LAN events
It
saying
looks
like,
tough.
I'm,
It looks
let's
like
go
EG can just
Cloud9
pick them
fam?
apart whenever they want. The way
No,
the
he's
rounds
going
are
like,
going.
oh shit,
Long B
it's a
push
force,
once again.
boys.
Just gonna be Zekin this time.
With the
I'm
Marshall
getting
2 just
Omega
looking to
griefed.
fight, trying to escape, stay
TFT,
alive in the
like,
back of the site.
is not
Finally,
like
his
an
teammates beat
esport
up.
esport.
No matter what, still a plant coming in for EG. I like it. From a cove into a poison orb, just making sure that Jogmo can get the plant and fall back. Pancata with that save rifle, though, opens
Man.
up the round. Deep in the fall.
Getting the plant down on long B Pearl is just like, okay, we got the plant down. Everyone back up. Everyone back up and just start shooting. The moment you hear tap, just unload everything. Yep. Here's a molly, here's a wall, here's a spray, here's a smoke. All right, they're not on. I promise you the comms are just not on. Not on. On. Not on.
As Busio adds up 4 kills into the round.
That's the entire comms. It's just on and not on.
Calm there. It's kind of like, what is happening right now? Gets the classic kill on the end of that one. They still had safety with one more player.
We did in chat. Maybe he can attest to it.
So neat to start cutting things
What are your
off.
comms we did on long B Pearl?
Push forward there. And it does not make it easy for the retake when you're bundled up like that.
Yeah.
Here's a big buy now. Operator coming out for Zekin. Ultimates for Sentinels.
Just to add into the high tide of what they're doing there on that post plan, it's so hard for the defenders to get through that wall to fight back too. So
You've already tried to use your util to get into sight.
Exactly.
They got to use it to take B long back. It's the layers that come into taking B there do become
So
difficult.
my
even
my
though
next
it's the strategy
not really.
we see.
My next thing I'm looking into is just the Game Changers team.
You're already very close up for the lockdown. Blade Storm for EG.
Just trying to figure out like Game Changer is more interesting.
Sentinels. Viper's pick goes down as well. Remember, we have an operator in this round too, Vansilli.
Game Changers.
They're still in front of that pit to be
Oh, the spam through.
Still gets the wall bang kill onto Busio. One player did get locked down.
Because it's definitely less developed than the men's league with a different set of challenges.
Through the high tides.
And you mentioned it, it's kind of a neat pit. Leaving the plant space open as Reckoning comes out. It almost allows Sentinels to get forward and
I think
use that util.
my concern, not my concern, but like I've talked to people who's been in the Game Changers scene for a while now. Like people who's been in it for the last couple of years, and they say like, oh,
Stop by Demon 1. 4 versus
Demon 1, you're him, but are you him?
Rifle and Blade Storm available.
Because if you clutch this, you're him. Versus just, nah, he's just him.
The hold still matches to work for Sentinels.
When people heard that I was getting into Game Changers, I received some messages from like individuals who's been in the scene for a long time, and their main concerns are like what they call bad faith actors, and I don't know what that means. And
the smoke, be in the face of EG. Really neatly played there. And
that's been like
EG from getting themselves fully onto the site.
the main concern people have raised with me.
Getting to round 7. Sentinels able to stop the bleeding a little
But
faster here,
I'm pretty
show
sure
a
I
little
still
more
want to
gusto on
get into
Pearl.
Game Changers if the
Looks like
option's
EG
good.
still has the upper hand as of now. That operator still in play. And we said it would be tough for a last round win. Didn't even matter. They didn't need Zekin for that. So Sentinels is really getting their defense on par now with what happens for EG's attacks.
With an op in hand for Zekin, usually an op in jet, you're thinking about lockdowns towards the lane of B long, towards A entrance. But Sentinels did do their homework, knowing that EG likes to look for this pressure into Art.
Isn't there a lot of
That's
drama in
where
Game
they're holding
Changers?
out there.
Yeah, but I'm someone who loves
Get
drama
reckoning, very much so.
as a spectator.
They've had a lot to get themselves in these sites, and B position is ready for a reckoning. Also, A is outside of sight, so Sentinels is thinking about this. Oh, it's used at mid.
That's Calm with a nice little kill. And it's used towards mid to allow EG, there you go, to get that arc control instead. What?
Why aren't female teams allowed in VCT? Nah, they are allowed.
For the retake, looks for the flank. And gets denied.
30 seconds
And that gives an opportunity for Calm to get his own lurk while the rest of EG are looking for the plant, which will be successful in the A site.
Spike planted.
Really
Didn't someone get banned pretending to be a woman? I think there was one case of that last year in Game Changers, yeah.
And this was a slightly lower buy they have for the attack of EG. Battle and a save. As both Brazilians once again as Sentinels looking to play the retake. 3 versus 2 to start to a 3 versus 0.
Oh my god, a 2-0 EG game?
Still had that lurk from EG in the back spawn.
EG playing the map beautifully there. It is identifiable by Sentinels or by your opponent when you grab the alt orb and where that might go, right? It would go into
Why do people play in Game Changers instead of the main one instead? Because if you are a woman on the internet growing up playing video games, chances are you would have been called a lot of bad things purely because you're a girl
Timeout called now.
by members of the opposite sex.
What can you really do at this
So
point now,
if
really?
you had a chance to
Sentinels,
play
I mean,
with
they've been
people
burning out
that
timeouts
are
after
more
timeouts
accepting
from
of
the
you
first half to the
and that
second.
you're not singled out for being a woman,
And even
versus
trying to
playing
fight
in an
towards that
environment
control, trying to
where
get that up there.
everyone overly fixates on your gender and insults you based on that,
Last time Sentinels
which
called
one would
timeout,
you prefer to
EG,
play in?
Like pushed every extremity of fracture.
Right.
One of the first ones.
And for the
So I don't
record,
know if EG are using
females,
this time as well
people
to say,
always use
be
this as a
aware
straw
or
man
be ready.
arguments like, oh, girls only
Even
play in
one with
girls'
that
league because they're
operator still, we
weak.
will see
Like, no,
low
girls
armor now being
can play in the
favored
men's league.
for that purchase for money saves on the side of Sentinels.
Most of them
Saving a bit of
aren't like
cash
at
to
that
get
level
the
yet,
next round,
but some
knowing
just like
this is
prefer
gonna
that
be tough.
atmosphere. There's
Whether or
nothing
not
wrong
they're
with
making
that.
it out of this alive, they're losing numbers. So any way they can get themselves back into economy and back into having more util, the low buy is one of those.
Those, please don't get canceled for saying that. I
like that
don't
call,
think
actually,
I would
from
get
that operator
canceled
in the
for
hands of
saying
Demon
that
One.
women
was the
face
op that
a
was
very
picked up,
challenging
left behind by
environment
Zekin when he got dropped on that previous
on the
round, so
internet.
Dogman will pick it up. And off this timeout, EG wants to find an opportunity. How can you use this op on the
Don't
attack?
be a baby. These are things that are happening. If you just
posted up
choose
to
to
work
ignore and
towards
say,
B-Long.
hey, don't talk about it, you'll
Not
get
much,
canceled,
pressure on
then
B-Long at all.
it's never going to get
So
fixed.
This may be one of the first looks they're going to be taking. Thinking Sentinels might usually push this area. It's just a hold for Demon 1. So they don't want to show really that they, where that op is, I should say, either. They know they have an op, but where it is a question.
You might find that out very soon.
A little bit of B pressure finally coming in here from Boostio. Gonna go
Why do full female streams not attend VCT? They try. They're just not
He's had some support.
good enough.
Ethan trade as Zekin falls, so both duelists
I
now
think
down.
the first
Coming out on the attack for Ethan.
time we see
That
like
might initiate the push for EG to plow towards
girls
his B side.
in the main VCT league isn't going to be like a all girls team. It's going to be a girls on a co-ed team.
But it gets stopped by the snake bite from Kong. So
I think that's one thing that some orgs have tried to be like a little
the thickest one being the
too like, hey, we want to empower women, so we're gonna like
by a lockdown though from Pankata.
have a all girls team to participate in the like try and be in the big leagues. But it's definitely
Doesn't even matter if this pick comes down now. It's a 2
harder
versus 1.
because there's just less talent available, right?
Still available.
Like even
Onto the
player
side, tries to swing
population.
out.
Okay. This is how I'll put it. If you have a country of 100 people, and you have a country of... Ooh, the spam through. Classic. If you have a country of 100 people, and you have a country of 1 billion people, and you can only pick one representative, chances are the country with 1 billion people will have like a higher top end because they're picking one from 1 billion versus one from 100. Does that make sense?
Yeah, much more of a
a big
Personal
part of
step
it
up
comes
from
from
everybody
comes
here.
just from like sample
That
size.
is obviously making the whole team look better as EG is playing immaculate right now. A little bit of A pressure. This could be an orb for Def. They will grab a Reckoning once they get control. And it's the first time Sentinels has really flexed their muscles in the beginning of a round.
Right.
To show EG that they were
I
taking
would
a portion of
say
the map.
the
Mid's been
main
open. Mid's
reason
not
you
controlled.
don't see
has been pushed a few
girls
times.
in the
But
main
EG, they've
VCT
kinda had
league
free
yet
reign of the
is
map, and then
sample
EG
size and kind of like the culture.
You're right. The only
But
positive
we're
thing
gonna,
towards that
I
V long
believe,
was that 1v1 a few rounds ago
in the
between
next
Zekin
2
and
years,
which
we'll
worked
see
the second
someone.
time around. Still a first blood for Zekin, but EG had support that time around to fight back. So brushing more players towards the A side works
So
out
that was a bad
for EG
example.
to
I
push
actually
out
think
towards
that's a
mid
perfect
instead.
example. That's just math.
It allows Marv to get the pick off the stinger.
Still a full hold on A. Traded back. Right down B link.
I make you roll 1
That's
dice,
open now for B.
Yeah, I wonder if
right?
Marv tries to get this weapon.
And I can roll 100 dice. And we each pick 1 result.
Circles as he goes down to make sure he's still covered with utility out. Like the brain continues to grow.
Who's gonna have the higher number?
Flush him out, he just gets a drive-by with the Phantom. But Sentinels
Hopefully that
already looking to
example
push
like
back.
narrows it down.
Zekin love tap through the smoke. He gets fully blinded by the flash of
I
Ethan.
roll 1 dice. Wait, I roll 100 dice. You roll 1 dice.
With the stinger now,
We
weapons
each pick our
looking to get
highest
picked
result.
up.
You're kind of like you only got 1 option. I have 100 options.
Gyro playing just on the other side of the high tide. And once again, a kill, 2 kills through smokes.
EG is just rolling. They're feeling good.
I mean,
Okay, but let's not get too excited because in week 1, EG had a 10-2 lead, and then they got came back on. Come back on.
And
Come
map
back?
two could
Come.
be very
Come
much
down.
the same score
Come
line of
back
a
on.
9-3 here, or even worse for the side of Sentinels, and better for EG if they continue this. Sentinels is only able to string, not even
Will they
get
get
one
their
round, and then
revenge?
instantly back in Evil
Will they show
Genius's
they've
favor.
learned?
They push, they figure it out, they wait for Sentinels to make a mistake and string a few of their own together on the side of Evil Geniuses. It's definitely not a way.
Oh,
that
I think we're gonna do an
allow you
interview
to win a
soon.
game if EG continues to pick up 3 for your 1.
I can scoot over.
It's almost like the old Looney Tunes. 1 for me, 1 for you. 1, 2 for me, 2 for you. It's not how it works. See the push towards mid. EG finally gaining a bit of that ground.
Hello, how are you doing?
Looks like it will end B here, but they're still going to feel out the map and see what Sentinels has first.
Yeah,
Do
we
you want
still.
to know the questions beforehand?
What do you think? Should I be more genuine in my answers, or should I prepare something?
Third player, that's Def rotating across for 3 players out there.
Okay.
And for EG at the beginning of the round, was just a lot of noise at the top. Get that orb.
You know, let's hear him ahead of time.
Secrets to be available for Ethan.
I've got your trail.
He's gonna use that right now to continue to fake towards the B site. All of EG walking towards A for a split there. But Sentinels read into this. But it's a fake after fake. A double pump, actually.
Yeah. Around the world.
Op still up, though, towards that long B.
Let's see how late they put this wall up.
30 seconds left.
Fuel first. Fuel down, wall up, so they don't double and use that gas utility. But they're going to meet Saucy right here. Ethan takes him out. Great trade. Great teamwork.
Yeah.
They needed one of those.
It's good.
Lisa
We're
Reddy
good.
comes out now for the defense. Lucio has to stick onto that plan. He's getting stunned. 1 for 1.
Makes it
The
out.
advantage out for EG still does make it out indeed.
3v2.
As EG still has a crossfire set up. Nothing could be done now.
Is there a team you're rooting for?
History repeats. Penkai
Between these two?
versus 1. Stopped by D.
Not really.
And EG with a convincing pulse plant.
It is
I'm looking like I don't have a monitor.
8-2, so 2 more rounds.
Zekin gets an off shot on the planter.
Oh, sounds good.
Reckoning comes out, doesn't matter. Planting that.
Spike planted.
You just get splashed by a little bit of water. Don't worry about it. Team's there to help you. And the comms there have to be great as well. Keep planting. Keep planting. You're safe, right? We have you. Yeah, EG is definitely
Nobody
making
can
that
hear me.
work, too.
Okay.
There you go. Hello, chat. I'm joined by Dryad, one of the caster/host for VCT, and you're still casting the Challengers events too, right?
I'm still casting challengers, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for this, I'm doing mainly Spanish. What is?
Demon 1 with the operator
Okay.
again as they Play it slow. Wait
Mainly
for
like
a
interviews and stuff,
Even
but
with
also
this
like
lead,
Spanish,
EG is
like
still
analyst
playing
desk.
these rounds.
Yeah, I was sitting in the green room, and there was definitely like the English-speaking talent and then the Spanish-speaking talent, and they're just so separated and having conversation within themselves.
Yeah, once in a while, like they mix each other, and then everything else is like we're doing our own thing.
Yeah, because like with NA and like South America being combined to one, like everyone's kind of just on one side or the other.
Exactly. Yeah. We make it work. You didn't see the Brazilian talent in the green room? They're over there now, but.
Yeah, there was a girl with long orange hair. And that was the only.
Orange hair.
Yeah.
Oh no, she speaks Spanish.
She speaks Spanish. Okay.
Not Brazil. Not Brazil.
Not from Brazil. Okay.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Got it. And you speak Spanish. Okay.
So them are the only ones that speak
Portuguese.
Everybody else, like that you heard over there, speaks Spanish, and then English.
So on broadcast, what do they speak?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah.
But what if like Brazilian fans want to watch? Is there like a Portuguese stream?
Yeah, we got like English, Spanish, and Portuguese.
Oh, so they have to do like 2 languages. Okay.
We got it.
I'm an uneducated North American.
All right.
I think this is last round before the interview.
How well it's clicking and what that means for these strategies. They didn't even need the full squad.
I'm gonna ask you also, like right at the beginning for this match, if you're surprised about the score, like
the
how do
way
you
they're
feel
able
about the
to just
team.
enter that crossfire seamless, and that has been the name of the game for
Oh,
EG
timeout, perfect.
this entire series. Sentinels now calling a timeout. We do see that there was an operator in Zekin's hand here for the last round. Down to 0 credits, straight to the pocket lint for this buy. Let's see if it works out for him to, again, like we said, this
We
could
make
be
it
another
work, it's
9-3
fine.
here, just like first map. Could be a 10-2 as well.
They got you Doritos.
Yeah.
Are you gonna eat them?
No. Do you want them?
No, actually.
I'm not eating them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Now that you mention it, I could.
Something
Okay, I'm gonna take them out.
Something I could plan out, and it worked out for a round that they got. And Potter's scenes for today, given
All right. So when you ask me the questions, should I act surprised, like, "Whoa"?
Yeah.
Did
Go
I
like
expect
actually
that?
super surprised, like.
Okay. And then
That is a really good question.
I'm gonna give my answer as if like I'm really genuine about it. That it just came off the top of my head.
Yeah, like we didn't just plan this entire thing.
I kind of already forgot the questions.
And able to play a versatile style with now having Demon 1. How comfortable everybody is.
Oh,
the
okay,
kind of
yeah, I
plays
don't-
they're making, their confidence to push up. You see the operator still going from multiple
It'd be funny
hands
if you
on
were
this
like,
team as they can switch
actually,
it up.
I don't
like
know.
An old Cloud9 of
Yeah,
old
Alan, that's.
players.
Give me a second
So,
to think
yeah.
about that.
It doesn't know. You haven't seen too much of EG.
Last round,
What they show you each week is
2-9.
always different, right? Whether they play trap plays,
Full
whether they
buy
play
on both
retake now.
sides.
Seems like
So,
they're really
like as
fluid
soon as
now.
the round ends, we just cut to the interview.
Yeah,
huh?
they're gonna. You're gonna.
9-2, like we
Actually,
said,
I don't think you can't hear the casters, right?
Oh, you did not.
I can, but this like. Oh yeah, I
They're
can. I
gonna
can.
say like, oh, we have an interview.
You know, I'm just gonna wait for you.
That's a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
And once again, both duelists instantly fall in the early rounds in the first contact. Took a lot of time before the first execution
Another
came
dude,
in for the map
3-9.
control attempt.
I think. Actually, I
Still
lied.
a stalemate.
Both jets are dead.
Even a high tide
Yep.
early. Should I say that's a
They're
cascade
one
to
planet
drop out
away
for
from
the arc?
Harbor Out, but
EG are just cutting noise for a late rehit.
EG's leading A. You know what? I'm gonna say EG wins this round. In my expert, oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna say Sentinel. So no.
In my expert team owner perspective, I took a look and I analyzed it. I think EG wins.
For EG.
Are you sure? Still?
Yeah, still, even though it's a 3v4.
Okay.
They're gonna do the smart thing. They're gonna run B. They're gonna plant long B. They're gonna run like and then just spray it.
This is a pretty easy defense for Sen.
There's like all the Killjoy utility there though.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just one player. Because they're like, oh, Killjoy's got us, but she's just one character.
Yeah.
And the Molly's like in the corners. You can plant right in the middle. Boom.
17 seconds left on the clock.
They're like, go, go, go. Throw the orb down. Get the plant. Oh.
I can see the vision.
Yeah, and then run long.
But you get stunned there by the ult of the reckoning.
But then they leave a guy hard. It's like sneaky. Oh my god, they're not running long? Oh, never mind. Sentinels win this.
B-Link, double B-Link.
No way you don't run long with that plant.
But snake bite into the spawn, delaying a little bit more.
Actually, EG wins.
Oh,
Actually, you're right.
no, Sentinels win. Sentinels win. We flip. Oh no.
Okay. Alright.
They set up like a Tetris piece. Just at the 3 corners. That is impossible for anybody to get into that site. Like I said, Vansili, answers to everything. It's wild.
Well, now it's time to pass it over to Diane Dryad, who has an interview with one of my favorite graphic artists, Disguised Toast.
One of my favorite graphic artists too, and I'm over here with Disguised Toast. He's having a co-stream right here in the arena. Toast, is the second time that you're here. How are you feeling for the arena? How are you feeling for the match? Are you surprised about the score?
Very surprised. I know like Sentinel's been trending down and EG's been trending up, but this has been a really dominant performance by EG.
We're expecting at least those 3 maps. I mean, there's still a chance.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go 2-0 Sentinels, but at this point, I'm gonna switch sides and root for EG.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Just in time. Okay, and now let's talk about DSG. So this is your team. We've seen a couple of very close performances at Challengers with this team, and we saw a tweet as well. So talk us through kind of what has been going on with that team.
Yeah, so the team, the performance hasn't been so great, but we've had like a lot of close games. Like we lost like 1-2 this week. We lost 1-2 last week.
Yeah.
And I think the team is like struggling a little bit, but everyone's still very confident, like keeping their head down, trying their best. And I will say, like, we find very cool ways to lose rounds. I think we're one of the...
I remember that one.
The 1v5 eco diffuse, and
Yeah.
you can't even be mad about that.
Things that happen, you know, it's content for sure. So just for the next matches that you guys have is going to be kind of what are the hopes really, really quickly and how it's going to go for you?
We're up against like 2 of the better teams in our group, and it's the 2 teams we played the most that 4-0'd us combined the last split. M80, TSM, so we played M80, TSM, M80, TSM. It was lost. But if there's a time to get a revenge game, it would be next week.
It's gonna be those 2 weeks. We're gonna see. We're definitely cheering for DSG. Definitely, you guys also watch challenges as we throw it back to the casters for the second half of map 2.
Thank you, Dan and Disguised Toast. And indeed, if you've missed that Ninja Diffuse chat, the 5 versus 1 that we're able to get, or unfortunately, DSG had to suffer on split. Make sure you watch that VOD. If not, also make sure you watch the live games for NA Challengers happening during the week. Well, we had the VCTs over the weekend, and as Toast was mentioned before, the team has to keep their head down and keep working, just like Sentinels has to do right now in this half right here. Backs against the wall, trailing behind by 8 rounds to try to tie things up against EG.
Yeah.
And this is their last hope.
I'm not sure if you could tell, chat, but I'm a natural.
Already, we're going to get activated.
Great. Thank you very much.
Demon 1 to see if he can get out of this situation. No, he doesn't even activate it. Stone cold. I feel like he could smoke and get out in most situations.
Exactly.
All the way down
if
to B for
EG
Sentinels.
wins
They're
this
not going to waste any
early,
time. Actually, quite a fast round for them. Because they only took a little bit of time.
I was
there in
originally
spawn, and we're
gonna.
get a quick plant here. Cold plant middle. Okay, I thought he was going for side plant for a
These
second.
games have gone on so fast.
Plant out in the open. 2 push towards Hall.
Oh wait, Sentinels get
Default
long
setup
B
here
plant,
for
they for sure
post-plant.
win. Mathematically, if you plant long B, you have a 75% chance to win the round.
Clear towards the back of the side. 2 players falling behind. Yes, a couple of them are dazed. And we're pitching towards the front too. Flash behind the high tide. Cove up. And now EG's looking for the defuse. Nothing so far themselves could do. At least a kill. A second one from
Wait, they planted long B. They can't lose.
That's a spike though. Not yet a halfway. Pancata gets the 3rd kill. A 2 versus 2. Can he actually get it done?
Oh!
To talk about.
Cleanest aces this season of Valorant America's coming out from Pancata. Let's see it again.
Pancata just doubled his kills.
Last player standing.
Dude, off the reload, head to head, no obstacles.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. Thank you. That will not be a pistol round for Evil Geniuses.
Nope.
If Penkata has anything and everything to say about it.
I could definitely see the chat. 10-2 is a new 9-3.
Yeah, after that. We'll have to see.
What is this
so they can keep
strategy?
up. It's going to be the triple bulldog buy.
Two guys hiding behind pillar, one guy hiding in the corner.
Really well set.
Oh my god, it's a 5-stack.
Yes. Looking to do something there.
Okay.
Some sort of trap play. That's the beauty of the Jet. The updraft over the high tide for the last kill. And that's a clean flawless. Really running behind that ace, the momentum that's built up by Penkata.
Awesome stuff.
One enemy remaining.
FPX buy into the round, get themselves some bulldogs, see if they upgrade here to the 2 rifle, 3 bulldog next round. Or if they decide to stick. Actually, Zekken's gonna feel fine on this Stinger, actually. Build up that money, make it more possible to get an operator in the later rounds. Why spend if you don't have to? Where are they going? 3-2 split to start off. Kind of more of a default, rather. Just to feel out the map. Spike is down by shops right now.
Demon 1 is really pushed up on B.
Demon 1 again.
Demon 1 is
So he's
definitely
feeling
like someone
confident to
who's
almost take
very
up pillar
aggressive
almost
with his
every
play
round
style.
now.
Like he
Super
always
focused
pushes
here to
up.
Try and get himself a frag and get out in time.
Yep. Has the utility for that escapability.
Ooh, that's gonna let them know.
Oh, he's looking for help here.
The bird knows.
Get util help.
So they're trying to smoke him out.
That cascade
He needs to
allow him
win.
get left side.
Oh, wow, they both kind of whiffed. Well, actually, no, Def didn't whiff. He had a worse gun.
Forfeiting his position out towards B.
Yeah, so this is one thing I noticed when I was playing with Steel.
From his teammates.
Pro teams don't necessarily use Sky as a blind. Like, they use it as a blind, but a lot of time they use it as a info scan. Oh, Giacomo!
I wish we could honestly get a replay of their Pearl game last week. It is the exact same play without a cold.
He jogs on my Mo.
He cannot be stopped in that position.
But yeah, a lot of people just use Sky as a Sova dart.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, the multi-kills that EG are able to
It's a Sova dart that doesn't tell you their location.
It's not like, oh my god, he needed to
It's
do
like,
that.
hey, there's a guy here. I'm not gonna say how many or where, but there's a guy here.
But it is just EG able to stop Sentinels.
So with that like Sky pop, they knew like
time after time.
really high chance that someone's tucked in the corner.
You got me. And that's how you answer back for the Evil Geniuses. Thankfully, though, for Sentinels, it was a bonus round now. Able to still invest into a rifle round this time around. Breaking utility to start things off. Flash to find information. It's going to be Ethan allowing Boosty to peek out. But Sentinels decided to fall back for a bit. You still see Penkata watching for a long A push. But EG's taking that opportunity to move forward. Second on the first, immediately by Ethan. Def, the second one in line. Does get the dink onto Demon 1, but they fall back for the heal, and EG gets the opportunity with the player advantage for this round.
Cloud9 and EG best NA teams, just like we all predicted.
You're right.
Everything's to A, everything like that. They've gone art, but we haven't seen the mid fights yet. Another frag going down there as I blabber on about mid. Here we go. Here we go through art. And they're trying to focus up. We actually saw Killjoy utility just pulled back, so EG realizes this is moving pretty quick towards the other side of the map.
The 25 seconds run offside and hope to God we plant.
But Death's still alive, so they have the high tide. That's not going to get too much information. And on the attack too, it's Penkata with the lockdown early into the second half. Sentinels does get the plant.
Oh,
EG
he
has
didn't
to
get
wait
sprayed
for the
down. That was
lockdown to
close.
finish. Flash available for Ethan. Gonna throw it through the high tide as they peek through. But there's still util onto that side.
How are they gonna stop them from peeking main though?
Left behind snake bite.
They know no one's on side. Oh, nice. That's important. One molly out.
Because the alarm bot got stopped.
Okay, Art's dead.
The first kill onto Saucy.
Art's pretty cleared.
What
What about the guy's main though? What about the guy's main?
It's up to the trace to come out.
Demon.
But it's just EG too strong. EG now at map and series point 4-12. 4-12, Riv.
Vans, we came into this series saying even like the Leviathan game was great. But looking at the Loud game and the
Ah,
Furia
this
game
is so
for
big
Evil
for
Geniuses,
EG.
They were they almost 2-0'd Loud.
And this is
by
good
the
for
way,
us
and we're 3
as
rounds away from beating
DSG.
Furia as well. Not the signs of an 8th place
Because
team, and I
if
think
all
they
NA
have
teams are
found
kind of like
the way, the identity of how to play
killing
this
each
squad.
other,
I mean, look at Jogamo now.
but
From
South
Raze
American
to a
teams are
controller
beating NA
from
teams,
map to
that
map, and he is
means
absolutely slamming. 16-11.
it's only South American teams going to Tokyo, which means no North American team, which means less interest from North American viewers. Oh my god, that was through the smoke. Which means Riot Games will one day have to split the league between South America and North America again. Which means North America has to add 5 teams to franchising for that to work. Zekin's going crazy. Which means DSG and franchising. Sorry, I'm done.
And that's always been very important for the Evil Geniuses. And that might be a disciplined play for EG at this point.
Yeah.
Cutting their losses.
Okay.
Using the rifles into the next round.
Yeah, actually, Demon 1 on 0. They've been going pretty hard on spending because of the situation. They have the rounds to play with. There's no problem in that. Saucy looking to get a little more safety in this positioning, and they'll get themselves out. So another round here for Sentinels. Not yet pushing Evil Geniuses at all, but they do have the operator for Zekin. That was a very big round for him to open up above the clouds of the gas and then take down Demon.
What I'm trying to say is this affects DSG legacy positively.
With the operator, you almost want to see if that pick can happen first.
And it starts
They do have Saucy
with
very close to
Tokyo
Seekers,
Masters
so they may be able
having
to
no
get that,
American
and they may
team.
find a Blade Storm of their own on the other side after this timeout because Demon 1.
So there's going to be a playoffs for the top.
Marv is pretty icy.
Is it top 6 teams here?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Is it top? It's top 6, right?
Happy birthday to Danger Zone, by the way. So happy birthday, Danger Zone in the crowd.
Top 6 teams and
Everybody's gonna cheer for his birthday.
in this league.
But yes, let's talk about this timeout. A very important one too. These have been moments now for EG where they've had leads, they've won matches.
And the top 3 teams there goes to
a
Tokyo.
couple of weeks ago, right? And then it comes down to these moments where you're almost at the finish line, but then you're getting like, okay, let's play it. Okay, it's only 1 round.
Right.
We still have 8 rounds.
What's stopping
Still
you from
7
closing
rounds.
it out?
Exactly.
You have so many chances.
So off this timeout for Potter, is it going to be one of those plays? Hey, let's not play for the win. Let's just play aggressive, play against Sentinels. Instead of playing the protocols of the retakes. They might have an opportunity now because of the Blade Storms. The Blade Storm, sorry, that's available for Demon 1. Rifles for the rest, and a Bulldog for Ethan.
It's a push-up, too.
C9 just has to win 1 game, though. No, C9 is not going to Tokyo if they win 1 game. They're going to playoffs, American playoffs.
And escape a little better with.
So they still have to top
Demon
3
1's been
there to go to
perfectly okay with
Tokyo.
doing a one and done in that situation. Here they want him alive. They want the refresh Blade Storm and a kill. Push towards A. Remember, this is an ultimate for Saucy.
Like C9, I'm pretty sure is locked for playoffs already.
Ethan's also on that, so fighting for this A orb right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Trailblazer out.
There was no information.
So best case
off the
scenario,
Fox
2
Media,
American
it's probably gonna be
teams
his
and
orb,
4
but
South
Sentinels
American
to take
teams
instead.
make playoffs, and 3 South American teams go to
Cabbages
Tokyo.
away. Let's see how they retake this. It's very default.
You
for
would be
EG, so
right if
Sentinels,
Riot
they
isn't
have
helping
the
on
chance
giving
to set
China
up
3
and
spots.
create
Well,
a
I mean,
very
Riot can always
strong
change
plan.
things, but I think China
Maybe a
just
little bit of
tells
scaling
you,
if
like,
they can get a kill on
if
common
Riot's
there.
willing to just say, hey, China, you get 3 spots because we need you to be at events for viewers and for, like, money. Oh my god, calm with the spray through. It shows they will do the same for NA because NA has a very, like, spendy culture as well.
But again, that's not
So if
gonna
anything,
work
that
here
helps
when
the argument.
There's a call that was still up, the plat to come through. And a snake bite to the lay, but it misses.
I think China kind of like lags behind the other like international teams, and that's why they kind of like are given their own special system. It's not even a continent; it's like a country, right?
A 4 versus 1. The Cascade to block the vision, and EG to win the series.
EG claim victory.
GG's.
North American team.
Like we all predicted, a 2-0 domination by EG against Sentinels.
13-6 and a 13-5
Here are things to look out for.
fracture to Pearl.
Sentinels roster
Absolutely
changes,
incredible play across the
coaching
squad.
changes,
You're seeing Demon
and the
One still
CEO
able to
tweeting
step up.
something.
Ethan coming back to being Ethan. Giving us a bit of that lock-in play once again.
Another thing to look out for on Reddit and VLR, be prepared for everyone overreacting to this.
Over the Viper as well, and Jogamo.
A lot of speaking Chinese jokes, probably.
I don't even. I can't. You can't forget Pankata's ace this game, though. That was beautiful.
EG definitely does have the family buff today, but
The Sentinel social media intern trying to farm as much impressions.
throughout the weeks, right?
The G2 social media trying to farm as much impressions.
And then suddenly losing like a 13 almost to 0 against Loud. And sometimes those type of performances, those types of losses into certain maps really shines away from all the good
Are we
things
gonna
that
see the
EG has put
return of
together.
tens? Who
Which is why
knows?
Maybe it didn't look like it was supposed to be such a convincing victory from the eyes of a fan of
They
Valorant
bring back
watching this for the first
Psycho.
time. Where suddenly, usually when you're seeing Sentinel's name, the tenure
I wonder
of
if
this
Psycho is
roster
at home going like,
should be once again here is the key word.
like I'm petty like that. If an org fired me, I'd be every time that org loses, I'd be like, too bad, guys.
How the players feel in game. Wow, how they're pushed and supported to play their role, to move forward.
That's what I would do. Like if I was on a team and I got kicked and they started losing, I'd be like,
a whole lot of teamwork went into that game.
sucks to suck, boys.
We watched these games in the past few weeks when we still had an opportunity to vote for an MVP. I think for today's MVP is also probably going to have to be the 6th, 7th, 8th player or whatnot for the smokes for EG, right? The amount of smokes that came down and the amount of smoke kills that they were able to get.
Yeah.
Just spraying with the Phantoms. Again, the Phantom supremacy, as we see week after week, a great way to counter up against double controller plays, not only on the jet, but on the way that you want to use those rifles to fight off against the sectioning of the double controller plays.
Also, big consistency in Evil Genius's pistol rounds. We saw them thrashing with frenzies today. Like we said, the second highest pistol rate win percentage, and they show it here against Sentinels, but also carry through.
I was only gonna. I can only watch one series. I thought I'm going to this thing at 6 o'clock for famous people. Don't ask me about it. You guys wouldn't understand. I was expecting this series to end around 3 o'clock, but it ended at 1:45.
But I think they have something to study here. They have something to look out forward to, and they have some
1:45. So.
that map. And it also comes down to the extra obstacles that always came out from Jogmill, right? You talk about how they play behind the smokes. That code
Now I gotta kill
has
like
that
2 more
extra
hours.
place of utility that he could fight from
EG
anywhere
is
that he
now
wants,
above
but
Sentinels.
That's enough from us here at the front desk.
Yeah.
We'll send it to the analyst desk to see how they want
Like
to
we
break
all
down the series.
predicted.
Thanks very much, Vans. Yeah, it was a dominant game for EG. 2-0 victory to bring them now 3-2.
Okay, look,
in
if I'm
the standings.
BCJ,
Still a real chance of making playoffs
and this is
in
okay,
one
I'm projecting if I'm like him and he's petty like me, outwardly I'd be like, yeah, EG, let's go. Because he's still on EG, but deep down I'm like, damn it.
Nothing to take away from
I was
EG.
hoping they
played a
lose.
phenomenal game. Sentinels barely got double digits across an entire series. It just can't be.
But
understated
I think
how well
VCJ
EG
doesn't
played.
feel
They
like
played
that.
their
Because
own game. I really didn't
when it comes to
feel like there was much,
players,
anti-shouting
like
or
player
huge amount of crap. You
relationships,
just
they're
see
always
them.
happy for each other.
Fundamentally, they were the better team in every way today.
You were building up how important the fundamentals would be in this game.
Like players don't tend to like wish for the downfall of other players because they become friends when they play together. But as a coach,
really good.
If I'm
we've seen that
Psycho,
help them a ton. I mean, you look at those post plants. 10
I'm
out of 11,
celebrating.
I mean, that's an insane number. Can't really dream for anything better than that on Pearl. So, for them to get that scoreline, I mean, that's really hard to beat.
And the mid-rounding was good as well. This is one where they called a really interesting fake to win these late rounds, adding a bit more
I'm
complexity.
probably gonna call an Uber and
Yeah,
go
I really
home
like
then.
this round. This was
But
like
here's a small
multi-stage
problem.
fake. I think they started B, went towards
There's
A, did the hard wall towards A,
a lot
and
of fans
walked all
here.
the way back to B, and there was
If I
only
try
2
to
players
leave,
there, where
I will for
originally there
sure
was
get
3.
mobbed.
I think that's like one of the key moments where I think
I'm just trying to
you might
figure out
not
when's
see
the
it
best
often,
time to
but
go.
when they do it, it really works.
Maybe at the start of the next
those
game.
late rounds that have continued to improve each and every week, but a player who has really been
Maybe
stepping
there's
up
like
the
a-
spot as well has been
like a
calm,
back
who throughout that
exit
series
or
is
something.
So incredibly confident on both of
I
his
also feel
roles,
like I
with the
should say
Sova
hi to
or that
fans,
Viper.
take some
Yeah, Brenton,
pictures,
you
you know.
brought up pop-offs, and Calm is here, bro. He came up, he came to play. His lurks were incredible. His util usage, the stats don't reflect it as much. His darts on Fracture were insane. The amount of, wall bangs and wall hacks I got for like players like Ethan to spam through smokes. Like his util across the series has been great, and his lurks on Pearl just through the back line and then breaking the pieces of util, like the Sensei util, to set him up for those lurks.
I feel some eyes on me.
Corbin played insane today. I mean, on attack on Pearl specifically was where I was looking. His Viper play was looking masterful. The way he was using his util for off his teammates.
Maybe I'll go to the bathroom and hide there.
And then on the few post-plant rounds he had, I mean, just unreal from the Viper play. I mean, you can't really ask for much better than that.
They gotta close it out as well, and that's a tough one for Sentinels, as you can see up there on the wall. Probably a pretty brutal loss for all of their fans and for the players as well. They're now in a really tough position in the standings, 2-5, I believe. It feels like playoff hopes are starting to strip
I'm
away.
going to take off.
I think we all expected that match to go a lot more
Thank you
closer
all so much for
than
tuning in.
It was, and for Sentinels, I
I
can't
will
imagine,
see you all
being in their position right now. They must feel
next
really
week.
hard on
We
themselves.
play Friday,
especially
4
after
p.m.
last week,
PST
thinking they
against
can, like,
M80.
bounce back, have a
I'll
closer
try and
series
get
against
one
a
stream
team that was ranked,
in
lower on the leaderboards than
before
Cloud9
then.
were
I
in
do
terms
want
of
to
their
stream
name
more.
teams.
It's just
So it's a tough loss for sure. I think
team management isn't like a lot of active work, but I have to take like a 30-minute call every 3 hours essentially, which kind of messes up my life as a streamer because it's so hard. You have to stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. I wouldn't say it's a lot active like, hey, I'm just gonna do work stuff. It's a lot of like, I'm chilling, then work stuff. I'm chilling, then work stuff. Yeah.
I'm getting smarter by
That's gonna do it for me. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching.
Ethan, talk to me about these last few games that
wait,
the teams played.
tens
It looks revitalized.
is
the team's
rating
feeling
tens.
good.
Tyson.
What has kind of changed since what we saw in the beginning, besides
Look.
the team itself?
Yeah, definitely getting really
You don't have to
comfortable in our
raid
system
me.
and our style.
I was
It took us a
already
little bit.
gonna
It was a
try
rough
and
start,
sign you this
and,
off season.
we're coming out hot in the first
I
map
know we
now,
have
so
Joseph
that's what we
and
needed.
Ye already on the
Starting off pretty
team.
slow before.
Was there a lot
But
of
my
countering
plan is
going
to
into
just have
today's
5
game, or was
insanely
this
good
just
Jet
EG's
players
game moving forward and Sentinels fell
and see
into
what
it
happens.
in the trap?
Yeah, this is all just us, honestly.
But I'm
playing
also
really well.
about to
I mean,
leave.
there's them getting Marv back in, there's really not that much to counter.
But I really appreciate the raid.
hope he doesn't play
And I
well,
hope
and,
I hope to see you in VCT
If we
soon
look at your
again.
games, even just
Or
behind
challengers
those
if you.
two,
Look,
Fury,
I'm just
within
saying.
3 rounds, almost 2-0ing Loud.
I'm down for a more relaxed schedule here over at DSG. Yeah, so most esports orgs, they do 8 hours of practice every day. My plan is it's 4 hours of practice on DSG and 4 hours of streaming, and that's your day.
All right, a few more questions. What's
It doesn't matter if you lose or win, because you're gonna get more viewers streaming anyway, so that's the whole point. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret when it comes to esports orgs.
Yeah, so like I said, the system is there now. I mean, we have a Jet
Esports orgs try really hard to win, so that they can get clout to then make money off that clout. They have to win.
Definitely energy.
But with DSG, we already showed we don't have to win,
That's the game that gets us playoffs and then playoffs.
and we're still popular. People still talk about us. We skip the winning, and we go straight to the clout. So I'm just saying, Tens, you sign with DSG. We got Ye. We got you. Maybe we sign like, maybe it's just like 5 big. We sign Tarek. You guys fight over who gets to play Jet every day. And it's okay if we go 0-10 in challengers, because when you guys stream after, you guys are each hitting like 20K, 30K. Numbers that these esports orgs dream to have. And it's a win-win situation. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. All these other orgs, they're bringing knives. We bring clout. I lost the analogy somewhere. All right, guys, I'm getting off. I'm gonna go, I don't know, do stuff. I need to forward the raid though. Are we getting Boaster? We're getting Boaster too. We have an import slot for Boaster. I know Yinsu's a big OTV fan,
to win the
You know?
series.
EG claim victory over their
It's all in the works.
They've been having trouble doing
It's
it,
all in the
and they're
works.
able to find that win here over Sentinels pretty convincingly.
All right, I'm gonna raid. Do I even raid Tarek? I mean, I guess I raid Tarek. You guys are all gonna go to Tarek's anyway. Little bro has enough viewers already, but here's a little more. Alright. Alright, Tarek. Tell him I said hi. Tell him to sign that contract. Tell him Boaster and Tens are already signed. We're making a super team. And we're gonna skip the practice. We literally show up to game day with just, like, no preparation. Alright, there you guys.